The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD BLACK NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and our Eisen, as we are here for Division 3, finally starting its first week. I know we're all a little bit late here, even on today, a little bit later than we usually start things off, but as it goes, it's a perfect time, better late than never, as they say, to start things off with the first map of the night, Spectre Gaming taking on Nevermind Esports on everybody's favorite, Oregon. Going live on your screens right here, right now, joining the players in the ban phase. We're probably expecting something, akin to standard bans from both sides. It's Division 3, of course. Nothing too special to be expected, although I'm ready to eat those words. Div 3 has sometimes presented us with some out-of-the-blue, very, very unorthodox bans, per se. And we even had a Zofia ban back here once. I believe it was last season. I was one to behold. But it's certainly been a interesting division, to say the least. It will be all the more so with Spectre Gaming, Clickbait, and several other new qualifying teams joining us in this division. And one of them, of course, being Spectre Gaming. Nevermind Esports, meanwhile, our fan favorite solo registration team, now playing their third season in the league. It's going to be a very interesting match. Indeed, bans are nearly done. Nothing too special just yet. Thatcher, Maverick, and Mira are the bans so far. And the final ban of the night is going to be Maestro. Interesting right there. Not Wamai. Looks like Nevermind Esports wants to have the denial that the Magnets bring in instead of taking him out. Maestro will be the one to face the ban, completing our banning phase for today, and round 1 will be underway. But I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Foxy, how do you do on this fine evening?
I feel amazing, Blackjack. Thank you for asking that. But hey, I think a little late than usual. We have started today. 7:30 is going to be the new prime time for R6 action. So everybody out there knows when we happen to go live here at the Esports Club. But that out of the way, that also means that we've had enough time to just get hyped up enough for Division 3 starting off today. And speaking of which, though, this does turn out to be a very fan favorite match. In fact, not just for Nevermind Esports, but also the return, or in fact, rather,
Defenders, protect your
the breakthrough that Spectre Gaming has made through the league once again. So they've been a team that has been trying for quite a while now, coming back all the way from the last league and now into Pro League. It's good to see them over here, just up and kicking. It's definitely an amazing roster, which I happened to catch some words on just out of the game with Vanitas from Spectre Gaming. He's playing the Hibana right now. Speaking of which, we'll be taking a quick look at the rosters. That is, got Vanitas, Docker, Delay, Yeetus Fetus, Noob, Fatty, Widowmaker, Moose, That Dude, Warlord, and Beam Golapur joining us today in the entirety of the lobby. In fact, I'm sure none of these names need any introduction, because already coming into Division 3, you know who Nevermind Esports is. It is that team that happens to share such a huge history, coming in through the solo registrations and just speaking, just happen to speak volumes that what this game can happen to bring up if you just did a mind. And now Blackbeard pick coming in with the blue bunker push already. Decker spearheading this, but he's got a lot of boulders to cut through. It's going to come down to delay adding up to that. Adding up. In fact, all 4 of these attackers will be right here, except for the 5th one, who's going to be on the drones right now. But we've got amazing crossfires from the defense. Not enough, I'm afraid. That dude is going to take some damage. I'd rather try and do some. It'll be Warlord who gets lit up just a bit. He's just going to fall back. That shield taken care of very quickly. So Spectre Gaming not sparing any second right. Now they want to make sure they convert every single thing, but that is also putting them at a disadvantage. Warlord walks away with the kill. Meanwhile, Docker will be the one to take the fall.
Big fall indeed right there. The IQ going down early. That's a lot of utility that could have otherwise been taken care of. But in this situation, I don't think that that's what Spectre Gaming will miss most. What they will miss most is the fact that they're missing an entire operator. 4 versus 5. Nevermind Esports already taking the lead after taking a bit of a beating on that blue bunker elbow push. Seeing as elbows rotate, has not been closed off as Warlord tried to push back. That's an open line of sight that Spectre Gaming will be trying to take advantage of. We can see delays already here and waiting, trying to find somebody, catch him off guard as it were, while the Blackbeard hanging back on the long angle. There we go. You don't contest that face shield as he finds one, nearly gets another, but wasn't able to. That dude, meanwhile, barely gets away from getting his head taken off from inside of elbow. He's trying to find one. He knows that the Ash is there, and now he knows their exact location. The trace is coming out, but it doesn't matter. Noob will push up, get another one. It's the Blackbeard, ladies and gentlemen. He's gotten in, and he is very uncomfortably close to sight.
That's right. You don't want to contest the Blackbeard, at least not like that. We see ourselves a 3 versus 4, a potential retake situation because the plant is already being stuck right now. It will get blown off. No, it will be into a post-plant situation, into effect, in fact, for the side of the defense. Beam Roller Quit tries and gets the frag onto Yield Speeders, but he's still got to find one more, and when Netus comes up with the Deleters, here's Warlord. He'll try and get a refrag quickly onto Noob as well, but that's not enough, is it? 2 versus 1, that is all down to the Ash. She comes up wide, and it's a 1 versus 1 she's just converted itself into, but no, that wide swing from the backstairs and the breach is working in his favor. I don't think Beam realizes that the last person is down, or this could... No, there we go. He's just gonna get the final kill, and he's got more than enough time to go for the counter defuse as well. There you go. Just hitting that on the 10-second mark. More than enough time, very comfortably so. A good clutch coming in from Beam Dolakpur, and that will be Nevermind Esports to kick things into action as we take a look at that in the instant replay. Nevermind Esports starting off very poised. Look at the composure that they just happen to have despite the man deficit. Just a very well-timed flank along with some beautiful crossfires on site is what set them off to a very fiery start. That's what I think they've brought on board, and I'm looking at them right now into Season 3. They already look like a very established team. This is not the Nevermind Esports I got to see before, but hey, I might be getting a little too ahead of myself. This is only the first round, and let's see what the rest of the match happens to offer us.
Well, one thing that certainly helped Nevermind Esports in that push is the fact that they could rely on the crossfires that they had held for so long. And even if all 4 attackers of Spectre Gaming, got into sight almost unharmed, it didn't matter. They had people in the right positions at the right time. Something that Nevermind Esports has excelled at in previous seasons, and that is having their men, their operators, positioned in the places that they need to the most. Now, of course, Nevermind Esports, had they managed to improve on certain other aspects of their, push, getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves, making unnecessary peaks and plays, if they had managed in Season 2 to get rid of those unhelpful traits, then they would be seeing themselves in Div 2 right now, but they're not. They're in Div 3, and this is yet another chance for them to raise the stakes for themselves even higher, to give themselves a much higher plane of fight in the league. And it's up to them whether or not they will. Against Spectre Gaming, it's been a good start, but just like Foxy said, only round 1 has gone through. Nevermind Esports, they've only taken the first round, and there are plenty more to go before we have a clear picture of both of these teams tonight.
That's right. A clear picture will get painted as to is this the newcomer from the qualifier Spectre Gaming will be able to stand up to the expectations from their fans, or is it going to be the long resident of Division 3, Nevermind Esports, just trying to claim their spot and trying to push it further, because staying in Division 3 the entirety of the league I wouldn't really call it progress. Well, I'm looking at former Instant Esports, but hey, we've got round 2 underway, a minute 50 remaining, and a possible flank from Fatty Widowmaker. That's what he's trying to pull off. He's got the C4, but he's not got the information, and that's going to be his death written by the hands of Venatus. A good frag for the side of Spectre Gaming to definitely take advantage of. Will they be able to convert that into something useful or not? One C4 less to work with on the side of the defense. Never mind Esports. I think they got a little too cocky with that flank coming in from Fatty Widowmaker, but I think they might still be able to put those pull out those plays with the cards that they have still in their back pocket. With Beam Dolokpur on the flank along with Valkyrie, she's still got the C4. That'll be Warlord all the way on the basement. This could be the game changer for them, but that also means that you only have 2 people on site. 2 on roam, 2 on site, unless the C4 connects. Will it or not? There you go. The detonation comes in. No, will get downed. But that's not the conversion. That means a revive will be into effect, but that's enough damage done on the Blackbeard already. I wouldn't really say that's a good trade-off, but you've at least got yourselves a 4-5 re-established back on the side with the crossfires engaged.
With 55 seconds remaining on the timer, there's only so much Spectre Gaming can do that doesn't involve finding heads as soon as possible. The later their push is in this round, the more the need will be to kill all the remaining defenders, and that's not how that starts. They've lost one, and that's Beam striking down Venatus. A very big drop indeed. The Hibana is off the board. 4v4 established. Warlord still watching the breach that the ace made not too long ago. Peeks wide and gets taken out. It's a 4v3. Make that 4v2. Yeetus goes all in as he's found 2 more. So I tried to find one. Couldn't swing in quick enough, excuse me. And it's suddenly down to Beam, who is very far offside, down on first floor kitchen. He has to play a retake for 1 man, 1v4 post-plant retake. A huge ask on the lone Jaeger, trying to come up the White Stairs right now. I believe White Stairs is in fact being watched, and if not, that could be his entryway. It's not, in fact. He's trying to come in, but this entry door, it also wasn't being watched. It will be, though, as the move had the angle from the door, just not up the stairs, but on the rotate. He knew to peek when he did and managed to take the kill. There you go. Quick peeking, just, making sure he had information before he took the shot. Round 2 goes the way with the attack, and a beautiful attack from Spectre Gaming, as we saw in the replay right there. And that's going to equalize things out quite well between both sides. Early game, of course, anything could still happen from here, but that attack gives a little bit more stock to what the side of Spectre Gaming is trying to sell to us tonight.
That is correct, absolutely correct. In fact, something I happened to just happened to notice is the fact that we don't see the Blackbeard banned today on a map like Oregon. Usually, we've seen Blackbeard get banned quite a bit, and today he's not, and that's why the huge emphasis that is coming out from Noob himself is he's been able to pull up quite the weight despite getting down. He got that finisher kill towards the end as well. It's not just the fact that you're able to come up with the kills. It's all the while more easier with the Blackbeard to get more map control on a map like Oregon, and that's something I think Spectre Gaming used it perfectly well. Something on the side of Nevermind Esports that I think they went wrong fundamentally once again. You had so much emphasis on the roam play. You had 3 roamers essentially. One of them did get taken down early, but you still have 2 more. I think that's a little too much. You've only got 2 people on side, and they got taken off early. I mean, the crossfires were in the best position you would expect them to be. But yeah, it's just the gunfights that did not work out for Nevermind Esports. It all came down to the lone roaming Jaeger. Just not enough, honestly. It not just pull the weight at a situation like that. So maybe a recalculation, a re-evaluation of their strategies is what will be able to pull out Nevermind Esports over that slack period. But this is only 2 rounds into this, people. I might be getting a little too ahead of myself, but this is exactly what happens to throw me off. It's the kick in the fact that we happen to start off a new season. We get to see so much more diversity in just in terms of what these teams happen to bring. It's Division 3. We've seen some weird stuff, and I've always got room to see more. Honestly, that's just it. We'll be headed to the 2-minute mark with some early drone war coming in. There's not a whole lot of headway that we see the attackers make as well. They're still trying to dislodge Jaeger, who's playing on the side of armor. You look at the crossfires and the pre-angles that we're seeing them establish, but that's just not enough. Warlord still walks away with the frag. That's going to be under delay. And hey, there we go. Nevermind Esports making sure that they work this roam play perfectly well. taking so much attention right now. That is the Jaeger Beam Dolokpur trying to contest the Blackbeard. He's getting some heat from the side of the Tata Sky window, as well as I like to call it, because we have the satellite TV outside, but not anymore. We'll still be waiting for that window vault, and that won't come out, or will that? Yeetus Fetus will delete us. Warlord, we still got a 4 versus 4 established. Let's see what comes out of it. A minute and 30 left into this round.
Well, the Blackbeard still on Armory window is making sure that Beam can't get out of there without risking his head, of course. And then you have the Ace from down below trying to get another angle. Beam is being pinned and pressured slowly. But of course, it isn't quite fatal yet. Both sides have only lost one, and Warlord and Delayed going down make that noob going down as well. The Blackbeard is off the board, and that's a big one. That's going to hinder the push out Spectre Gaming, and if the Ace goes down, which he nearly did, that's going to make it even harder. The Cheat in the hallway spotted now, but Beam's going to go down instead. Didn't have the health, and whiffed way too many shots. It was not to be for the IQ, while Moose comes in with the refrag, quickly taking a kill and shutting down Docker before it was too late. 3v2, Nevermind Esports much better on the defense this time around, knowing who they need to target and who they need to lay off on right now. And of course, not going on an all-man roam definitely helped in that situation, as the Ace will drop. That's Diffuser, and it's all down to Moose, because he has sights on Hibana, and he will take it. Venice House drop. Nevermind Esports will take round 3, learning from their mistakes in the last round. Second floor dorms will go to them in round 3. That's what we love to see, people. That is what we are here for. The little change, just that one change of not having everybody on the roam, having 1, maybe 2 people downstairs, 3 people inside. And in fact, Beam himself was lurking, not necessarily roaming, out towards Armory. A much needed change, well done. 2-1 is the scoreline going into round 4, basement, laundry, and supply room. And before I, leave it off with Foxy again, I have to ask, Tata Sky window?
All right, so before we happen to go into the rework, it's
attackers need to locate.
we had a good satellite dish TV over there. So what else do you want me to call out to my teammates to make it easier? This TV sounds so less attention seeking. Tata Sky is like, all right, I exactly know where he is, But yeah, flashy names aside, I think what Nevermind Esports did is a good pushback. At least starting off on a map like this, getting the first victory is a very prominent factor to why we got to see them play out very well on the side of Kids Doms as well, because usually the way it happens to work is Kids Doms happens to be this very favorable side that everybody on our region likes to go first and foremost. But Nevermind Esports took that little gamble for themselves, started off on the side of Laundry, and they made sure they got that first round, and then surprisingly so, the second time Kids Doms did not work out. Finally it did, and now we're back on Laundry. Let's see what the next rounds will offer, because we've seen Nevermind Esports able to play out on the first 2 orthodox sides very comfortably so, but when it happens to switch up and get a little more complicated with the setup that we see them exhibit, it just does not work out for them. The action phase will be underway. You're already getting to see the Zofia, I think that is Noob, who's getting a little ecstatic. We've not seen him bring out the Blackbeard this time around, but he'll still be on the frag duty this time around with the Zofia. We understand. I'm really loving the fact that Spectre Gaming quickly changed up and dropped the idea for Blackbeard, knowing that Nevermind Esports has put in so much more work and utility into getting the shields up and just making sure that the utility burnout comes first and foremost, and that's why the Zofia will get emphasized as well. We're still seeing the push from the side of Blue Bunkers happen very well. This is looking very confident for the side of Spectre Gaming. There you go. Moose is going to get taken care of, at least not by 100%, but at least he's dislodged from his location. As we see Docker slowly making this push, it's the IQ. She needs information. The drone comes out from the backstairs, and that will be able to give away Moose's location.
That's going to be a big piece of information, but there's somebody watching the cross, and Warlord. Oh boy, barely gets away with his life right there. Angled grip for the win as he managed to ADS on the head of Docker just in time, because he was caught in the reload, and that would have been a big drop pushing into sight. Unfortunately for Spectre Gaming, it's put them in a 4v5, and even if Warlord is super low on health, That doesn't matter for him. He just needs to fall back and rely on his teammates who have the cross set. Switching out into the Zofia is going to have to be a Noob who pushes up next to try and see if he can square things out right now between both sides. And so far, he's done some damage to that dude. And of course, that puts that dude in slightly lesser health than the mute, but it's not gonna, again, it's not going to do much unless they're able to convert off of that into, operator kills. If they don't drop Nevermind Esports' defenders right here, right now, then they won't be able to push into sight and they won't be able to get the plan off. Smoke grenades are going to come out, does a bit of damage to delay, but it's not going to delay their push by much. The Kite is seen, he'll be taken down. Warlord off the board. Got a 44, but the gas train goes out in time as Moose falls in. He'll find another one. Can he find a second? No, he can't. It's a 3v3. Did not need to make that peak as there's 16 seconds remaining. Nevermind Esports, they just have to hold. Benethouse, he's been down by Beam coming out the back, and there's that dude. He's found one. Aegis takes him out and gets taken out. Noob with the double. It's a 1v1. All down to the Zofia versus the Jaeger, but there's no time. He has to go for it, and he will find the head. The Jaeger will drop, still peeking by the box of a white corridor. And the RG-15 fires off, as we'll see in the instant replay. Spectre Gaming getting away in the skin of their teeth right there. But a beautiful shot by Noob, who desperately needed that for his team. There was no time to plant, no time to do anything else. There was only one thing on his mind, and he executed it just in time. 2-2 is the scoreline, and we are only getting started with this match on round 5.
That's some amazing gun skill on the man coming out to be that aggressive fragger for his team. Talk about it. He's not able to perform on the Blackbeard, just giving that Zofia with the pistol in hand enough speed to just swing wide and take turns and just peek always like that. Able to get so much more headway done. Really good stuff and a really amazing clutch coming in from Noob. Able to take away that round for Spectre Game. Nevermind Esports, just not the best position for themselves to be in. The Jaeger could definitely have. I just hit honestly. Could have just stayed behind some hard cover. I'm not sure if the peak was necessary, but yeah, you want to stay in the advantage of a possible situation like that. It's just that the reaction when it came down to it, Noob was just faster. You should have heard me shout with my mic muted, because that was an amazing shot coming out from him. In the heat of that moment, he had to get that kill. Really beautifully well executed once again from the side of Spectre Gaming, but that's not enough. What I'm trying to get to here is that Nevermind Esports not able to put enough rounds on the side of the defense might be able to put them in a huge problem when they have to move to the second half of this match. That is, in fact, going to be just one round away after round 6. So as we happen to move closer towards halftime, something that does happen to take me back to what we usually get to see from Nevermind Esports. Are they falling back to their old tricks and happen to fall into that panic situation, not able to bring up the best of them in a situation like this? Moose already taking so much damage, not the best of peaks. Docker rather, excuse me, will get taken down by Warlord once again. That's an early kill for the Kaid, and they go Beam Doloku with the Melusi pick. He's brought out the roam play with the push from delays in, and he's going to get a double kill just like that. Does he get a triple? Warlord will make sure he shuts him down. I almost thought he'll be able to walk away with that triple as well, but no. The Kaid knew exactly where the pre-fire had to come in and made sure he got that quick peek in. I still got the smoke picking in a fight. Mighty Widowmaker, that is. He still got 3 gas canisters. Could definitely go ahead and use them. Right now, he's just going to blow one of them off, and there you go. We boot the toxic gas coming out and dissipating slowly into the lungs of the attackers. A minute and 30 remaining. Beam Developer going for the possible flank, but there's also a drone that I think he's gotten notice from, and that's why he's fallen back. We've still got a solid point established, but this is almost onto site. The attack is just one doorway away, and there you go. The walk-in is here, but Warlord with the triple, he might as well be able to get the ace here. Is he onto it? The guy looking for kills. He's hungry for more. The last 60 seconds is going to decide his fate.
Well, certainly with Warlord taking that triple, it's put a very big stop to Spectre Gaming's push right now, down to the 2v3, Yeetus and Noob. Once again, they're going to have a little bit of deja vu right here, as they were in a similar situation just the previous round. They can still do this, however. All they need to do is find one, maybe two defender heads and go for it. Fatty, however, is going to try and delay the push. It's not going to work. The ace is pushed in, and he'll find him. That's the smoke drop, and the Kaid as well. And there's Noob to turn around. The man is going off, as Warlord and Beam will be victims to his rampage. Finding the Kaid, who whiffed a lot of shots, admittedly, turning around, knowing that the Melusi was coming from the back tower stairs. Beautifully done by the man right there, as that is going to put the side of the attack on the lead 3-2, winning basement laundry twice. That's not something you see every day on Oregon, but of course, we are on the last round of roll swap. One more round to go before this match gets kicked into the other side, round 7 onwards, which means that the defense, Nevermind Esports, have plenty of time to equalize and give themselves a better position, a much needed position equalized against this attacking team going into round 7 roll swap. If they are unable to, if Spectre Gaming goes 4-2 into the defense on the other side of roll swap, Nevermind Esports, just like Foxy was, speculating a minute ago, they will be confirmed to have fallen back onto those old bad habits. As they say, old habits die hard. Nevermind Esports, they need to get that sorted as soon as possible.
Okay, first things first, right off the bat, Noob, definitely not playing like his name. He's not justifying it, and just coming out with some amazing plays. He's been, I think he's been let loose since he's been able to choose the Zofia over the Blackbeard. But hey, it's almost as if it's a sequel that I'm getting to see from definitely a Noob in Div 1 to Noob in Div 3. It's a weird pick of names, but yeah, they are definitely not noobs. That is very evident. If we will be taking a quick look at the scoreboard later after this round, that is in the towards the halftime. There you go. 9 frags for the side of Spectre Gaming already. The man is put on board. That's a lot of work, but Warlord adds up to that destruction he's been doing and gets shut down right after. Not the best of positions to play on, but you were able to walk away with a frag onto Noob. That's more than enough. You've shut down the spearhead of the attack, and I think Spectre Gaming right now is definitely a little shaken over losing a Noob right now. Just trying to make that push happen, but Nevermind Esports have gotten themselves a nice breather. Look at the Valkyrie cam getting spotted as well from the IQ scanner, just going to make sure that all of that is taken care of. Selma Beach is meanwhile going off in the distance on the side of Attic as well. We've got so much happening right now as we see the defense abandoning ship a little too early. Honestly, you're not going to contest the side of the attack zone, Attic. They will take that control a little too early for your liking. You've still got 1:15 left. I think just sticking to the Attic push would be a little more fruitful. But that out of the way, we've still got Venatus holding down the Tata Sky with the There the push came in from the Ash, but Moose made sure he tries to push her back just a little bit. Scares her off rather in that little distance that she's trying to cover over in the Attic. Delay going back on his drone and back and forth. In fact, we're still hitting the minute mark. We're not going to see a whole lot of map control from the side of the attack, at least not adjacent to the side, but they've been very persistent about it. Let's see what they make of it.
Honestly, that move right there from Moose to reinforce off the Attic rotate and peeking only through a line of sight inside a trophy brought me back to the days of old Oregon, where we used to see that kind of a setup quite frequently, albeit the window in the middle of sight was sort of a detriment to that. But, times change and that window no longer is there. That's been replaced by a whole room right now. But it is the Oregon rework. It's a pretty fun map, all things considered. It's not going to be too fun for Spectre Gaming if they can't make this push happen any second now, however. 40 seconds and less. They've made the push happen from much tighter times, and taking Beam down early is going to help them start that a lot quicker. The jump start is there. The spark is there. but they need to light the flame of this push. All four of them centered around Attic and Trophy, where crossfires are being watched from the side of the defense. Nest goes out from the smoke right there. That dude is going to be trying to put the delay in, but Edith is going for it in the middle of all the smoke. Can he get it off in time? Looks like he will. Barely taking any damage as is, but no, there's the bullet to the head to stop him. And there's Fatty Widowmaker to find one, and the Wamai prone in the middle of the room is gonna take down the last two. Very big misstep from the side of the attack. Spectre Gaming, what was that? I'm pretty sure everybody has a lot of questions about that one, ladies and gentlemen. But oh boy, what a very unfortunate push it was from the side of the attack. They took one, and they took a kill. They tried to go for the plant, couldn't cover in time, and then it all fell apart. Once the diffuser was dropped, it all fell apart, and there was absolutely no recovering from that position. That's what we got to see. Although, you know, a Womai prone in the middle of the room randomly inside of Oregon, that's not something you get to see every day, ladies and gentlemen. But the point still stands. That push, unfortunately, failed far too quickly for the side of Spectre Gaming. They do this. They've been doing this. That's something I've been noticing with them is their early rounds are actually pretty good. They know what to do. They know which areas to take, how to gather their intel. The utility denial is top notch. But then their mid to late round transition results in them losing far too many bodies and then losing plan of the execute, losing sight of what they need to do, and instead trying to kill chase or trying to plant in inconvenient locations where they cannot cover for each other. And that, of course, has led to this moment, which we will come back to on the rehost from, is 3-3 going into the other side of roll swap. That, unfortunately, not going to be a too good of a time for Spectre Gaming because they don't have a lead. They're effectively starting from scratch with 4 rounds to go to win. And that's unfortunately a lot more pressure than being in the lead on defense with 3 rounds to go. I mean, any team will be able to tell you that. It's basic math right there. But just in general, how games in Division 3 play out, Spectre Gaming have put themselves in a much worse position. One could even say they may have shot themselves in the foot here.
Well, I think that might just be the case here. Spectre Gaming, they might be on the back foot, but never mind esports. I think they might be a little too rusty with the start. And I say rusty because they slowly seem like they're warming up to the feeling that Spectre Gaming has been putting them up against. But just approaching Oregon just as a map, Blackjack, we happen to come down to see it being played so many times. It's almost become the new clubhouse. We've spoken about it quite a bit as well. But yeah, never mind esports. I think they've gotten off to a little rusty start, but they might have the off chance and a better ratio as to what we get to see them come out compared to Spectre Gaming. Because never mind esports, they've been in Division 3. They know the heat of this division. They've been surviving for 3 seasons now, for that matter, and we're getting to see that kind of improvement for them as well. Spectre Gaming, I wouldn't really say it's an inexperienced team. We've definitely got some amazing players coming out from that roster. I'd say, very familiar coming back to the qualifier days as well. We happen to go down in the previous league, but just from the looks of it, Nevermind Esports definitely looks so much more in control. But I beg to differ because Spectre Gaming able to, I'd say, able to take away very beautiful attacking rounds away from Nevermind Esports. I somehow think that as we happen to move to the second half of this match, we might not get to see Nevermind Esports do that just as efficiently as Spectre Gaming has, because Nevermind Esports, they've been a little shaky on defense as well. And whenever it's coming down to the crossfires and just beating the clock, that's something they've not been able to crack. So making the push on the side of attack is something that obviously requires so much more cohesion between your teammates. But I think Spectre Gaming has that upbeat compared to Nevermind Esports, just able to rock them off adjacent to the defensive sides. We see Spectre Gaming come off with very enthusiastic players then compared to Nevermind Esports. Nevermind Esports, they love to play in a controlled environment, isolate problems, and then surgically remove them. Spectre Gaming, I would say it's a little more scalpel to the hammer approach. They like to get out there, they get the aggressive approach done, and yeah, that's just the way they are. They have that confidence, just coming back. Excuse me, just coming down to the solo player potential from Spectre Gaming. So I don't really doubt them. Hey, it's amazing watching Noob just pop off and get kills back to back. We love plays like that. But hey, it's something that it does come down to the end of the day. It does come down to a very team centric play, and that's what this game is all about. So we'll be headed into the match, people. That's enough of me blabbering about what we've got to see from both of these teams and Blackjack for that matter. But we'll be headed into the match very quickly. So, and the second half, that is. And like I said, I'm still going to stick with my speculation on this. That Spectre Gaming will have better defensive rounds than we got to see Nevermind Esports bring out. It's not just the fact that Spectre Gaming has a good cohesion between their teammates. It's also the fact that Nevermind Esports just not able to crack that window yet. They're just not able to make that seamless, smooth push. But that being said, we'll not be wasting any more time, people. We'll be heading into the match quickly. So as it'll be resuming from the halftime, that is from round 7. So that essentially does put things into perspective. Now that both of these teams do happen to start off on 3-3, it essentially is a 0-0 now that you look about it. But hey, that will be for the rest of the match to tell us.
Right now, of course, we're going to be headed to second floor dorms and dorms main hall from the side of the defense, now Spectre Gaming. 3-3, not the worst situation in the world, but certainly not ideal for this blue team right here. They could have gone here 4-2 had their last push not collapsed. We talked about that, of course, in the reho screen, where it really just came down to the plant not being in a good area, not enough cover for the planter, if you will. And that resulted in that entire push completely falling apart. They tried to scramble into sight, and they got taken out one by one. Right now, of course, with it being round 7, with Spectre Gaming on the defense, they can apply what they learned from the defense of Nevermind Esports and put that into effect with, of course, their own twists and turns. But starting off the very first round of defense, they'll be testing the waters a little bit to see what Nevermind Esports is going to be bringing out, what they can and cannot get away with. And of course, immediately, I'm pretty sure as everyone has seen, Nevermind Esports have a big difference in their early attacking rounds, as in no Blackbeard. They don't want to bring in that Navy SEAL operator, and you know, something that we noticed with Noob from the side of Spectre Gaming, as soon as he stopped playing Blackbeard after those first 2 rounds, suddenly he was absolutely demolishing the side of Nevermind Esports' defense. And trust me, as somebody who's had some experience with Blackbeard, I can certainly assure you, playing without him randomly happens to be just that much better than playing as him. I don't know why. I don't know how that works. What kind of weird magic and forces that be are in play for that, but it is what it is, as they say. And right now, it's going to have to be for Nevermind Esports to take care of the utilities inside the site. We've got Moose, the IQ, doing what the IQ does, RD scanner in hand, while the drones, I believe, have spotted a potential run out from the kitchen small tower side. That's going to be something that they need to be very, very careful of. Bandit batteries taken care of. Moose is still running around down below. Delay, however, is going to go down. That's a big drop. The Nomad going for a bit of a roam clear. Takes a bit of damage, but it is worth it, as a trade-off is an entire operator. More than that, Delay gone for the side of Spectre Gaming. And I know that sounded like a bit of a pun if you sort of stretch the meaning of that word, but it is what it is. Minute 40 left in the clock. Spectre Gaming have lost a man, but it's nothing terrible for them. They can still make it out of this situation with guns ablaze. They just need to play around that 5th operator not there. Attic push happening. Bedroom breach done. Nevermind Esports are checking their boxes nice and quickly here.
That's exactly what they want to keep doing, but I'm afraid that there might be some adversity. There you go, and it just comes in with the flank, and that's an intelligent one. Dropping the diffuser, a second one comes in, almost Docker will make sure he shuts down Beam Developer. Meanwhile, a 4-3. Meanwhile, we've got the diffuser drop outside the balcony as well. Warlord taking so much damage, he's trying to stay alive. When it is being very ecstatic, he'll make sure Moose will make sure he gets shut down. A 3 vs 3 back into effect, people. We're going to see the man count equalize, and that means the 40 seconds will be a bloodbath for these 3 attacks and defense. And there you go, the peak comes in from that dude, making sure he gets a tracker to eat his feet, and another one follows in from Moose with pre-fire. Just Docker just coming into that free fire and giving away his position. Noob, he's the man on the clutch. A 1 versus 3 turned into 1 versus 2 because he just got that fragment. That dude, he'll get shut down by moves. Just slowly moving through that little rotation he had for himself. There you go. Just able to find that blind spot as the Jaeger was moving around, able to find him right before he did so. And a good round coming in from the side of the defense once again. That was just not enough though. Nevermind Esports made sure that they got the better of them. 3-4 is the scoreline rather. 3-3 was the scoreline walking into round 7 as we were about to go into that into that little look at the scoreboard. But I don't think that's going to help us a whole lot now with the rehost. But hey, we still do know that Beam Dolokpur coming out with that Warlord rather coming out with a huge kill power from the side of Nevermind Esports with Noob from the other side of Spectre Gaming, making sure this match happens to offer that huge wild card moment for the both of these teams. But it's just not about that. They definitely come out to be star players of this match, both of them from the respective teams. It does come down to how long is this match? How long is this match going to go about a to and fro? Who is going to be able to take the advantage first? Because from the looks of it, Nevermind Esports, honestly, they were not looking very confident walking into attack. I've told that before as well. But as we happen to proceed into the second half, they got the first round in. That is beautifully well done. Let's see if they are able to put more rounds like that on board or not. We got the prep phase done and dusted. Some good preparations coming in from the side of Spectre Gaming, making sure their strategies are set right. Venatus has got some setup made on the side of the T3 as well. And look at that, just making sure everything is accounted for will be kicked into the action phase, people, as round rate happens to progress ahead.
Nice and quickly, we're seeing a very interesting setup coming out from the side of Spectre Gaming's defense here. They're trying something different with a little bit of a extension through attic in towards T3 of tower. We noticed some vertical lenses had been made on that area, but no, delay is going to be spotted, and the tag team comes in as Widowmaker and Moose will join hands and take him down. That's a big one to drop early. The Valkyrie goes down again. Spectre Gaming, they're going to have to look into that. Delay, 2 rounds on the defense right now. He's been the first to drop. And none too ceremoniously either, because the trade-off has either been half HP off of the Nomad in the previous round, or in this round, absolutely no trade-off. Just like Spectre Gaming, you're gonna have to try and have some words with the man, as going down early seems to not really be a good thing. Fatty Widowmaker in the meanwhile going for the thermal breach on the main closet wall. He will, but not before he sees a curious little thing, a rotate that has been made there. Ventus is going to find moves in the meanwhile. That's a big drop. IQ goes down towards White. No, that may have been through the rotate and consequent summer breach that the defenders have made for themselves. A little bit of help, of course, from Widowmaker himself. The smoke went out there to deny lines of sight. Not that it's really doing much for either team, other than stopping the defenders from taking pot shots at this particular door. It's not going to stop Vintage House, though. He's going to find another one, as that dude will be the other one on YCS4. Warlord's coming already. He's going to plan. Where is he? Behind the doors, but there's cover from the big window. Yeetus comes in. He's going to get air jabbed away, but the kill will be secured. Vintage finds one. Can he find two? No, he has to switch out, and he will be safe because of his teammate at the Nomad going wherever, really, is going to get taken down. Fatty Widowmaker comes in, finds one. He's trying to have to deny the plant, and he will in time. Only to get taken down by Noob in the same place that the Jaeger was in the previous round, interestingly enough. Deja vu for Noob, but this time it works out for him. The side of Spectre Gaming will be the ones to take round 8 as the counter defuse goes off. Very well done indeed from Spectre on the defense. Unfortunately, Nevermind Esports' attack, they had the idea, they got the plant off, but holding post-plant fell apart a little bit too soon. Similar, eerily similar, in fact, to Spectre Gaming, who, even if they get the plant off, were liable to make some huge mistakes. And Nevermind Esports did something very similar in that last round. Round 9 will be in play. 4-4 equalizer is the scoreline, ladies and gentlemen. We're headed to Basement Laundry, and the more this match progresses, the closer we get to overtime.
Yeah, I think that is where we're headed to, Blackjack. I think it'll be safe to say that now. 4-4 is definitely a very
Attackers
evident
need to
scoreline,
locate
knowing
and
that
defuse bombs.
with the side swap happening as well, the teams are still at it. They were giving each other a very head-to-head fight, and that's what we expect out of it. Division 3 starting off to a very sweaty match. Love that. Really loving the energy that they've brought onto this match as well. But yeah, definitely just on a personal note though out there, everybody playing in fact, please don't pick Oregon. It's getting a little too repetitive, that's all. Again, we see so much of Oregon. We got so many teams coming out playing on Oregon always. We want to see new stuff from you guys. Yes, Blackjack.
10 seconds left.
You know, speaking of things being repetitive, I
Attackers
know
have
that
located a
Border is
bomb.
no longer in the
5
map pool
seconds to
currently.
insertion.
But you know how every time we come here to cast, the match is always either on Clubhouse
are
or
moving to defuse the
Oregon or,
bomb.
you know, on the odd
yeah.
day cafe.
Uh-huh.
We, as in me and my friends in ranked for the last couple of days, we played 9 matches of ranked, and we have had Border about 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's-
it's been a journey. By the time we
It's
came
like-
out of it, we were like 4-0ing, like sweeping teams left and right. And
Hey, maybe it's your matchmaking is just on a nostalgia mode, just revisiting the old map. A very good one while it lasted in the Pro League competitive pool as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely came out to be a very fan favorite map for our region. I still remember those days. We go back to having the Union gaming roster called Mercenaries, but no, let's get back into this match. We've got Noob picking a frag off, starting things destructively. So already he's definitely been that. Like I said, this one wild card for his team, and he's never failed to amaze. He'll make sure he shuts down Warlord. That's already a flank watch taken down. You've got to emphasize so much more on this one-man Docker. Meanwhile, with the one to fall, Delay somehow has so far escaped from that curse of dying early today, at least in this round. But it'll be Docker who takes up that mantle. We've still got the push-up happening from the side of the attack. They're slowly trying to close in on the location of Noob. He's moved back, and he's just going to rotate back and use this castle barricade to fall back from the hatch as well. That is, of course, if he wishes to do so. He's not chosen to do that. He's going to swing wide and get the frag. Look at this man just having that dauntless peak coming out from him. He's got Utis Politis to help him with that as well. As I happen to just catch my breath, Noob will make sure he catches his. He's just going to fall back, not re-engage with the ace. But he's got the footprints that he's left behind for the Jackal, the Hunter, to get him tracked upon. A minute left, and this match, we've got the push happening from the start of the attack as re-established back on the equalized man count. What will happen? What will unfold? Let's see the 50 seconds and find that out.
Fatty Weaver is going to find Vanitas. That's a big drop coming into sight with the castle down. That's one more gun and one more operator you don't have to worry about. That is good, but with Noob and Delay still alive, it's going to be that much harder because they both have very powerful weapons in their hands. Shots are going to be fired. That dude, he's chasing, and he will get him. The down and the kill as it's all done to Noob. The C4 finds one, but that's not the planter. Fatty Widowmaker comes in. He's getting the planter. He's through the smoke, and the Martin will run right past him. Not even hearing the plant going off, straight into the waiting gun of that dude. And the Hibana will shut him down. That is an unfortunate play from the side of the defense that will give away, concede the lead once again, as we saw in the instant replay right there, leaving Basement Laundry open to go again. At the end of the day, probably comms were a little bit too messy right there. Right towards the end, he couldn't hear where the plant was going off. And that informed an ill-advised decision, shall we say, which leaves us in a 5-4 scoreline in the favor of Nevermind Esports, who are one round away from match point.
Well, coming back to the Mozzie just pushing in, Noob making his attempt of a
by attackers.
action movie entrance onto site through the smoke. Just wanted to make it a little more adventurous. But just could not happen to crack it. It's okay. He's had his moments of getting the clutches in. Just not the day today. Nevermind Esports not letting Asada Spectre Gaming rather able to stand up on their own feet. Nevermind Esports coming out to be very strong on attack as well. This is something we don't get to see, honestly. You know, we get to see so many teams just able to perform on defense and become that one-trick pony that used to be Nevermind Esports, not anymore. We're getting to see them making sure that even on the side of attack, It's just Noob who's still able to dismantle them, not the rest of the team.
Attackers are
But
moving
that
out to
also does
locate a
happen to
bomb
turn
and
into a
defuse
very
it.
huge concern, because if Noob is able to find those little areas where Nevermind Esports is not able to work together with, it's only a matter of time till the rest of the team of Spectre Gaming happens to catch up on that as well. Warlord once again, he's back on the Nomad. We've got the push happening and the kills happening as well. No, once again, a very good imitation of the last round, a very good repetition. In fact, this might as well be the last round being played on repeat on your screens right now. You don't know, people, because that is once again Warlord getting shut down. Only the Nomad being killed by the Mozzie. Noob will make sure he shuts him down. Rather, Warlord will. Yeah, not the best position to be in. You start off with the Nomad. You want to make sure you bring out so much more than just your utility. I'm afraid he will not get a chance to expel that as well. No, will make sure he stays on the killing spree. He gets a double fatty Widowmaker. Will be the one who'll get shut down. We've still got 3 more attackers left on the side of the on the side of Nevermind Esports. I almost realized I was about to say we've got 3 attackers left on the side of the defense, but hey. Coming back, no, once again,
Well
as I was trying to talk about in the prep phase, he's been able to dismantle the side of Nevermind Esports. He's been good with it. But there you go. He's finally gotten shut down, but that's a little too late. That's enough damage already done. And yeah, it does come into accounting of how the rest of the round happens to proceed. A minute and 20 seconds left. We've still got 3 attackers live and healthy. Will they be able to get this clutch in for themselves in this team? That's the real question right now. Nevermind Esports so badly need that match point, or else it's going to be a to and fro of the equalizer game from the side of Spectre Gaming once again.
Well, right now, Nevermind Esports, unfortunately, their roam clear game has not been. It's not been good, and I'm not gonna mince words right here. Beam, he's still trying to take out roamers using resources that they need in sight. That's too many resources that they're using up above and taking far too long to dislodge roamers that should already be cleared out. The kill is confirmed, but the damage is already done, and then there's still somebody else on first floor meeting. They haven't got that cleared out. Shots about to be fired. Moose barely survives getting his head taken off. But now, look at the timer. 35 seconds remaining. Even if they find Doctor here, Delay and Venetalis have had enough time to understand exactly what Nevermind Esports have brought out and counter accordingly. And the Kaid, all he has to do is waste their time. He's doing exactly that. Moose still hasn't made any headway. He will go down instead, giving another kill away to Spectre Gaming. And there's the diffuser inside of sight. Dropped, and that is not quite the round yet. Beam's actually going to find one. It's a 1v2, but he's got 6 seconds remaining. He has to go. He has to get the Valentine pistol out, but Docker will shut him down, not allowing a replay of what we saw on the other side of Rollstop a few rounds ago. The Kite came back to site just in time because he knew he had to. There was no point in staying above after killing Jackal. He had to come back quickly to help his teammates inside. That is going to concede the lead once again, making it an equalizer 5-5, with Basement being won by the side of the defense. And Nevermind Esports, I really have to ask, that attack, that roam clear for 2 rounds now has, well, okay, maybe round 9's roam clear was still serviceable to say the least, but round 10, that was horrible. That really just was not good, and they need optimization there. They need a lot of work there if that is going to be their roam clear in future matches.
Defenders protect.
I mean, definitely, that criticism does happen to follow right after this, right after coming so close to match point and not being able to do something. I would say something that is fairly standard, fairly easier, something that we've seen Nevermind Esports do very well as well in the past. But hey, it has been the case, man. Honestly, it's been Noob dismantling the entirety of Nevermind Esports all by himself. He's been given the free pass since he happened to shift to Sofia in the first half. So yeah, most definitely Spectre Gaming is loving to have him off the leash, and Nevermind Esports keep beginning to crumble down. They're able to get the advantage away from Spectre Gaming, not able to keep it though. 5-5, we're back in the equalizer game, people. That does happen to promise an interesting match for all of us. Yeah, hoping to promise a possible overtime coming up. But right now, it's most definitely a fight, or rather a race between these two teams on who happens to get match point first. That's definitely going to be a huge priority for both these teams right now. Both of them 1 round away, this round away from match point. We've got the setup already established from the Jaeger on the T3. This might turn out to be very useless if the entirety of the attack just happens to abandon one side of the push. We go back to a push like that, where we did see Nevermind Esports attempt something like that. The big window quick plan push, that was really good, well worked for them. They made sure they made the push happen on the side. There was cover, nomad chargers, everything well into place. Just not a beautiful retake situation for them, though. Maybe this time around they might be able to turn things around for them. They got only delay holding down the main only on the main window. We've already got so much commotion happening over there. Yeetus Fetus rather is going to find Fatty Widowmaker through the smoke. That's going to be all the way on the side of Armory. He's gotten the first kill. We're still seeing the MPX being expelled from the side of the Valkyrie as well. Once again, there you go, perfectly read into what Nevermind Esports was going to pull off. They got the main window plan coming in. Team Developer, meanwhile, with the LMG, very trusty, in fact, is going to find delay as Warlord starts things off and shuts down Noob as well. That's a very important kill. That's a very patient kill as well, coming in from Team Developer. Follows up on that right after it. No, my rage jabs are coming out. This is perfect. The plant might as well just go down. Yes, it will. It's been stuck and it's been taken into a post-ban situation. And here comes the destruction and the death from the side of Nevermind Esports. That dude will make sure he shuts down Docker. It's all down to Yeetus Peters. He found the first try. Can he get the ace clutch in the situation? No, you want that dude. Will make sure he gets this dude. Nevermind Esports will shut them down. Round 11 is theirs. They were a little take for the taking of this round, but hey, we'll be taking a quick look at that in the instant replay, and we will be headed to round 12 with Nevermind Esports on the match point.
Well, that is certainly very interesting indeed, and that is exactly what we wanted to see from the side of Nevermind Esports' attack. They realized after losing that first body that, all right, maybe going for a push onto the roamer isn't exactly the best idea in the world right now. Let's go somewhere else. Let's find the weakness in sight, where the hold has unfortunately been left unmanned, and let's push through there, widening that gap even more. They did that very well and to great effect indeed, finding that very crucial moment to really take the round for themselves. Nevermind Esports now on match point, 6-5. They have a chance to end this right here.
I think Blackjack just happened to come off to what you happened to say in the round before it, that Nevermind Esports happened to talk about it. They're not able to make the attack happen because of the clumsy roam clear. They just decided, hey, guess what? Blackjack's not happy. We're not quick with the roam clear. We're going to drop the roam clear, just push side. That's what they did, and it worked out for them, honestly.
Oh yes, very much so. It's those little things that they needed to change here and there, at least for that one particular round. Now Spectre Gaming will try to read into that, and this is where the real mind games happen. Spectre Gaming will see that, all right, we unfortunately messed up the hold. The big window was, just way too open for far too long. Let's try and fix that. They've got barbed wires, they've got ADSs to shut down whatever throwable projectiles come their way, and a little bit of anticipation for a Ying play as well from the side of Nevermind Esports. We did see the Ying pick, but that was 6th picked out to the Thermite by Fatty Widowmaker right towards the end. Just playing some mind games before the round actually even begins on the side of the defense. Very well done overall. Just these little interactions here and there, these little adaptations that both sides are making, much needed, mind you, that we get to see. And Thermite, well, it's always a pleasure to see the original hard breacher of the game, ladies and gentlemen, as the Electronic Charge goes off on Addict, giving them clear entry into a very crucial line of sight towards sight.
That is right. They'll be making sure they get that headway done well in place from the side of Attic. But it's just not that one single-headed push that is coming in from the side of the attack. They want to put more than just one pressure point right now on Spectre Gaming, because they're in the heat of the moment, staring one round into a possible loss of this match. That is, because you're one round away from a match point and from taking and securing this match victory. Warlord Not able to get that frag. He's just going to unpeak that for now. I don't really blame him. That's exactly what you'd want to do. But these fights are getting too clumsy. So many missed shots I'm getting to see from every single gunfight that both of the sides of these players happen to be engaging in right now. A minute left. We're getting into the heat of the movement. It is, of course, a bloodbath situation. No lives lost on either side. It is a very good situation Spectre Gaming has found themselves in. They might be the ones that will be able to start off or maybe walk away with a possible better situation or advantage off of this and push us into overtime. But that's only something that the rest of the 50 seconds can tell us. A white peak is in, but the Womai will get punished by the Widowmaker. Meanwhile, he'll make sure he shuts him down. That is the Womai. In fact, delay though, he found a C4 kill onto that dude. That was your Hibana taken off the board. We still got a 4 versus 4 man count. Still equalized, people. This is the fight of the lifetime. The push-up is in from the Jackal. He'll get spotted, and there you go. The drop comes in. The Recruiter is being taken down. There's not much that the start of the attack can do. Never mind, Esports fall down like a piece of no, Ventus. I did not see you do that. I did not see you engage on that angle with a shotgun through a shot. And he's still doing that. He's still doing it. He knows that he's got this round. He knows that we're headed to overtime, people, because that is something that even we know. So 1v2 with the second left. Delay will put him out of his misery. Spectre Gaming us, taking us where we love to go. And Blackjack, please take the mic away.
Thank you very much for that, Foxy. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble? Overtime is in play. And oh boy, this match just got a whole lot more exciting. But again, I've got a bone to pick with Nevermind Esports, because this time, trying to go back to the 2-2-1 strategy, falling on their face very, very flat. I believe the wordplay you were going for, Foxy, was falling down like a house of cards in the wind. And yeah, that's definitely very accurate for that attacking push, because the big window push, not good at all. They should have tried to play for the barbed wire. They should have waited for the other side to be successful. If not, they should have rejoined their fellow attackers on the other side of the map, and they could have executed on time a lot better. Nevermind Esports have had this problem for ages now, where they simply take far too long to establish a simple plan of attack, and then that execute gets completely botched because they don't have time. Time is of the essence when it comes to competitive Rainbow Six. You only have so few minutes, and those minutes, every single second, every millisecond counts. There needs to be absolutely no wasted motion in any of these plays. Unfortunately, both Nevermind Esports and Spectre Gaming have had way too much wasted motion for them to really have a clear decider between either side. And I say that because we're on overtime. We wouldn't be on overtime if one team was pulling ahead. And while I love to see overtime, ladies and gentlemen, what I do love more is some very good, very clean Rainbow Six. Division 3 has shown us that they can play very clean Rainbow Six indeed, but today is just not one of those days. Noob trying to turn around, find somebody on Armory, isn't going to be able to put a pre-placed C4 on the floorboards just below bedroom, interestingly enough. That dude in the meanwhile just making sure Armory's clear, but there's moves to finally shut down Noob this time around. Good on Nevermind Esports. They knew that the Mossy would be going out roaming again, and this time they were not about to fall for that same trick. Happens once, happens twice, but the third time will not be the charm for the side of Spectre Gaming. They've lost a big one too. Noob, he's been unleashed, shall we say, ever since he switched off of Blackbeard into Zofia on the attack pre-roll swap. But this round is not going to be his to influence.
That's right. He'll get put to rest a little too quickly and early, in fact, into this round. We've still got a minute and 40 remaining. That's so much more that could happen and could not happen as well, as we happen to go ahead and explore that little window of both these teams that we need to find right now. Nevermind Esports looking like they want to get match point for themselves, but Spectre Gaming, they put up more than just a fight. They are putting up the comeback, and more importantly, they are the ones who happen to kick us into overtime. Let's see what happens, because we headed to the 1 minute mark, and I'm not sure if I'm loving the pacing of the attack. Warlord has picked up the second frag. That'll be from below the castle barricade. He defeated is going to be the one to take the fall. They've still got 3 defenders, very alive and very angry, looking to find more kills. There you go, a very clumsy fight with the Zofia. Beam Dolak, we're trying to shut down the Kai. He'll make sure he gets that kill. That was fairly a better situation for him to walk away with, but that's not even the side. They've been very meticulous with the roam clear this time. No lives lost. 5 men alive, 40 seconds left. 2 defenders to fight against. Looking very promising for Nevermind Esports right now, as we see Venet is taking some damage himself. He's gonna have to fall back. He's got the C4, but I don't think it's going to help him a whole lot. He's got so much more to fight against. The concussives coming in from Zofia. You've got the long angle to be contested as well, and obviously the scare of the push-up delay. He'll make sure he gets a frag. Does he get the shutdown on the second one? Yes, he does. But that'll be so many more kills being dropped. Venetus gets the triple kill. We've still got a 1 versus 1 to fight against, and it's all under between Widowmaker and Delay. He's all the way on the side of Freezer, and this might just be the play that Venetus has pulled for his team. 9 seconds left, and the plant is being stuck. Delay has got to go and kick this plant into a delay, but he won't be able to do that. It's a post-plant situation for him. He could definitely fight against this. He's very ecstatic. He knows he's got to find the frag, but he does not. Widowmaker will make sure he shuts him down, and the Selma breach on his face just for the disrespect. He brings in the 1v1 clutch, and what do we just get to see? That turnaround potential from Spectre Gaming. Just not enough. We got to see so much more than what we expected from those last 10 seconds. Not enough. Once again, it'll be Nevermind Esports taking match point for themselves. 7-6. We did get to take a look at that in the instant replay, but once again, we're held to Nevermind Esports in the round advantage and the ones 1 round away from taking this victory. Let's see what happens. We'll be headed to laundry room and supply room once again, as this is definitely quite the match.
Oh, absolutely. It is quite the match and a half. Venet House nearly pulled it out for his team with that peak collateral. Kind of collateral. I mean, SMGs don't really penetrate that well. But regardless, that double kill to secure his third, the triple in White Corridor, in Freezer, that should have been it. How do you go from a play like that to a 1v2 confirm from the ace of the enemy team? Well, it was a simple mistake from, unfortunately, the Jaeger. He couldn't take out the drone in time, made far too much noise coming in, and didn't attempt to stop the plant. He thought if he just shot in the general vicinity of where the plant was going down, he could sort of scare the ace off of the diffuser and force him to make a much worse play. Unfortunately for him, well, as they say, pros don't fake, and that time he certainly didn't. That diffuser went off, allowing the ace to go into a much better position and allowing him to clutch the 1v2. Nevermind Esports, once again in the lead. This is where the real test of strength comes in for them, because they've been in the lead multiple times before. They were on match point, ladies and gentlemen. Not overtime match point, the regular match point. They've been here before, and they somehow managed to mess it up the previous time. They really don't need to do that this time around, because endurance is also something that factors in, especially this late in a long match like this. Something that Div 3 teams all are very painfully aware of is the longer a match goes, the more it takes out of them and the harder it gets to win right towards the end. Even some Div 1 teams have problem with endurance in longer matches, best of 3s, best of 5s as well. But of course, they have it much better than Div 3 teams, especially when a lot of these teams are very new and fresh onto the scene. Practice as much as you will in the early days of a competitive team's career, endurance can sometimes be your biggest enemy. Right now, that might just be the case for both Nevermind Esports and Spectre Gaming. Whoever collapses first here, it will be a very telling factor for the final round. If we go to maximum overtime, it will be very telling on who could potentially take it and who could not. Shots are fired. Warlord trying to find somebody who won't be. He's going to fall back quickly, but Jock is going to find one. That's Fatty Widowmaker off the board. The alibi is down, and the G8 has fired off early. Spectre Gaming on the attack, taking a much-needed first kill. Can they follow up with a couple more? They can. It's Docker all over the place. He's found a second. That dude has gone down, and he has pushed into side, but the C4 comes in. He will be denied. Warlord makes sure of that, who is holding in sight with his dear life in his hands.
We're still looking very shaky though for the side of Nevermind Esports. We are looking at a man disadvantage right now. One man deficit. A 3 versus 4, but we've still got Beam Dolakpur once again on the flank. Here's when it is to find a frag. Warlord still trying to keep the fight alive. He finds a frag, but he might as well be the one next on the chopping block. He's thrown in the middle of the hallway. Oh, this is very sad to witness. Beam Dolakpur meanwhile did find Noob though, and his position's being given away. We're seeing the Ace go for the plant. We've got the Melusi going for the long peek, but that is just a very fatal angle for him to peek right now. He's going to go up for the quick rotate, and I don't think that the hatch has been opened. That means is really going to have for the quick long rotate right now. Coming around from the main stage, 30 seconds and counting. It's a post-plan situation that we've seen Nevermind Esports getting themselves into. Beam Dolakpur, he's got to find 2 frags with both of the attackers. Very good, very healthy on HP. Ventus will make sure he shuts him down. That was more than expected what you did get to see from the side of Spectre Gaming. Once again, the pushback from them, guys. Look at this. We will be headed to maximum rounds, people. Maximum overtime. Round 15 will be underway with quite the stuff we're getting to see from both these teams. Neither of them able to just give up. Both of them at it, locking horns, just going back and forth about this. 7-7. It's all going to boil down to this last round. Round 15 is going to be the decider, in fact, of the fate of who happens to win. This has definitely turned out to be such an amazing start to Division 3. Honestly, we get to see so many lackluster matches come out, but yeah, although on a side note though, we are getting to see a beautiful round 15 coming out from this match. I wouldn't really say this has been the best quality of siege we've seen in Division 3 come out. There could have been better stuff, but hey, it is still a maximum overtime that both these teams are at it, and they don't. Neither of them want to give up, and that's what we love to see. Let's see what round 15 happens to unfold.
Interestingly enough, if I recall correctly, that last round, round 14, with Beam coming around the back tower stairs with Melusi, is the 3rd time tonight that has happened. I mean, the first time it worked out. The second time, not so much. You'd think the 3rd time he'd fall back to site earlier to try and help out his teammate, but he's there again. It's like clockwork, All right, side is being pushed. We're at a man disadvantage. We need all hands on deck. The Melusi, meanwhile, slowly rotating around kitchen corridor towards tower, is taking a sweet time in that regard. Of course, there were other factors in Nevermind Esports' defense in that previous round that led to their defeat, not just the slow flank. The slow flank certainly was one of them, but there were other issues, peeking in positions that really didn't need to be, or just putting yourself in bad positions just in general. And right now, Spectre Gaming, they've taken advantage of that. They managed to equalize once again. But right now, that is all the equalizations done. There is no more equalizing in this game, ladies and gentlemen. No more of that. This round is going to go one of 2 ways, and whoever takes it from here is going to be the one to start off Div 3 on a very strong positive note. Just in general, Div 3 has started on a pretty strong positive note with maximum overtime confirmed. But of course, just like Foxy said, this isn't the highest quality of maximum overtime we've come to. We certainly had better from Div 3. But I'm not about to begrudge maximum overtime when we are getting one, ladies and gentlemen. Jackal Scan comes out onto the smoke nice and quickly. That's going to give away Vinitas' position, but he's safely deep within sight. Nothing to be afraid of. Minute 35, and Nevermind Esports are getting the bottom.
I'm reloading.
Well, I like how, as I said, that they nearly did, but that ace should not have survived that. Not with the way that he peeked. Fatty Widowmaker just about finds Stalker and pulls me back out of the handoff that I was trying to do with Foxy for a quick second. I mean, lovely moments. Oh dear.
Well, lovely moments indeed. But yep, the pre-fires are coming in, and along with that comes in a kill as well from Ubisoft. He makes sure he gets a frag, and down comes another. That'll be a double kill for him, but that's just it. Warlord will make sure he shuts him down. Here comes the aggression from Moose as well. That's a good shutdown from the side of NVM, but Spectre Gaming answers right back in. Nope, shots Beam Dolakpur down. It's once again a 2 versus 2 we found ourselves back into, but it is Warlord with low HP is got to win this fight. Moose is coming up slowly from the main stairs, from the main window as well. Smoke's coming out, but that's the ADSS catching them off. This is not going to be. It's not. I don't see this coming out to be a very good.
Oh, no.
There you go. There you go. Venet is just making sure he gets that easy frag. Bonus 2 for moves to fight against. This is for all the marbles right now. He's going to get the first frag. No, he won't even get that. No, does not matter. He's shut down with that air jab. It's his kill for the taking. I'd love to take a look at this. Look at that. Just stabbing. Oh, beautiful shot with the hip fire. Drop shot indeed. And a very good 187 for the man to take away and get Spectre Gaming termed as the victors, coined as the victors for this amazing match that happened to take us to the maximum overtime. Round 15 is up till where it happened to go down, and what a beautiful way to just start things off here at Division 3. You know, coming back into Season 3, just energy that we've got to see from these teams. It's amazing. Round 15, just in the first match. I mean, how amazing is that, Blackjack?
Oh, it is certainly absolutely amazing, Foxy. I mean, that's a way to start off a division, ladies and gentlemen. That certainly is a very strong way to start off Div 3. Of course, the match itself is over, but we're not quite done with this segment. We're going to be going into relive the moment in a quick second right here, where we go over the best highlights of the match that we have just seen and talk about what we saw from both sides, go over the notes that we collected overall, if, you know, Foxy collected notes and didn't scribble in his copy again. And just I'm sorry, I had to. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going into the relive the moment right here, right now. It was a fantastic game, just overall, both sides countering each other every single round. And, you know, we still stand by what we said, that it wasn't the cleanest or, you know, the best of Div 3 that we've seen, especially Season 3. Of course, Season 3 itself has just begun, and there's plenty more to go before we have our best plays of the season. But overall, it has been an absolutely fantastic first match to start off Season 3 for Div 3. We did have the Div 2 play days. You know, we had our own, you know, few issues back then. But at the end of the day, Div 2 has started off. So Week 1 actually started off a while ago, but we had to break for a couple of days. And now we're here with Div 3 and segueing into Div 1 after a couple days of this action. So plenty of Rainbow Six Siege action coming up this week, and it all started with the Spectre Gaming and Nevermind Esports match. And what a match. Again, there's not any amount of emphasizing that will do this match justice, because it was, at the end of the day, a great match. Was it the best? No, both sides had plenty of issues, plenty of problems that they really need to iron out. Many repetitive mistakes, really, that they kept making over and over again. But, you know, when they come back and review this VOD for their strategies in future games, I do hope they take our words to heart and really try and change things up. That clutch by Noob, by the way, 1v2 with the Zofia, that was the first round he got off of Blackbeard and onto the Zofia as well. Like, that's how you start an operator role change. That is fantastic. Only to then go around in round 6 and have this. Yeetus going for the plant. That was, I believe, by Attic. And unfortunately, too exposed, no cover behind him. Then you had to... That clip's going to be infamous. Like, it will be famous, but for, like, not exactly the reasons that you initially think it might be. And overall, Nevermind Esports' push, when they were on the attack, wasting resources on the wrong areas, managed to get a bunch of kills in the first few rounds of their attack to sell themselves into sight, really. But, you know, in later rounds of the attack, it will become aptly clear, that they take too long on intel gathering, they take too long to set up their plan, and then do not give themselves enough time for the plant, or even if they get the plant off, they're far too shaky, far too excited, if you will, and they don't clear their thoughts, clear their comms, and get taken out in unfortunate situations. That's what happened in round 8, the round that we just got to see in a clip, of course, and it wasn't enough. The ace coming in from the breach wasn't enough to really clean up the round.
Well, I couldn't have put that better, Blackjack. I think I think I've had one of the best summaries of matches come out from your mouth right now. Really well summarized, honestly. Just as we got to see the ups and downs of both these teams, it definitely was a very weird performance from Nevermind Esports. Honestly, coming out from them, they were very all right. So I don't get this. How can a team come out to do complex stuff very easily, so but not able to crack fundamentals of cracking Siege. That is very weird. You come down to so many things you've got to take care of. Just as you happen to think about Siege on the competitive level, the first and foremost thing I think that'll come around you is the timer, the clock. Beating the clock, that is, it is impossible. Time and tide wait for none. But yeah, you've got to make sure you use it to your maximum advantage, and that is something I didn't see Nevermind Esports do. They were definitely off timed, off paced with what they brought. And honestly, it's not that Spectre Gaming happened to perform better than them at times like those. It was just the fact that they had equally, let's say, sad moments of timings, but they just made sure they happened to come up for one up at least against the side of Nevermind Esports. Not a huge advantage, but a good one for them. And this was a very good turnaround opportunity that I saw happening from the side of Venetus. He got a nice 4K to leave a delay in a 1 versus 1, but delay, I think he was just ecstatic, could not find the kill. It would have been amazing if he would have gotten it though. Yeah, there you go. That's I think that's the downside of having to switch between the ADS and the hip fire. You would rather prefer staying ADS while going with the moment and the peeks through the hallways as well. You would not want to keep on ADSing. But hey, it is what it is. That was a possible clutch we did see happening, but just not enough to crack. Could have not predicted things going around either way, because Spectre Gaming got the match victory towards the end anyway. And this is in fact the last time we get to see right here, last round rather. It was quite the stuff from both these teams, but it was Nevermind Esports who turned out to be on the sad losing part of it. And I think it is very rightfully Spectre Gaming's victory for themselves. They made sure that they got the homework done. They made sure that everything was well and accounted for, and they made sure that they pushed for the victory. That's a well-deserved win. And hey, that's my 2 cents on the game.
Absolutely. And just like it goes, it was certainly very well thought out from both sides, really. Like you said, the question is to be asked. They did complex stuff pretty well, and they countered complex stuff pretty well. But when it came down to their basics, it still needs a lot of work. As the saying goes in many popular shows and movies across time, that when you get really far into the complex stuff, sometimes you forget the basics. And for both teams, if there's one thing, if I could summarize all the advice that we've given in this match into one sentiment, it is work on your basics and you will be just fine. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a quick break before we come back with the second game. And this one that I'm sure a lot of our viewers are waiting for as well. Two teams coming up from the qualifiers, Clickbait versus D3 Team Sky. That's, I believe, 2 team names mashed into one for whatever reason. But we'll find out that reason, I believe, on the other side of this quick break. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and Admin Eisen, as we're here for the second game of the night of Div 3, starting its very first week. And in a nice change of pace, it will be on the map of Villa with a team Clickbait taking on D3 Team Sky. Interesting team name right there, D3 Team Sky. We commented on it being a sort of a mishmash of two teams that we've seen before. But of course, we're going to be joining both sides of the ban phase on the map. The match is beginning right here, right now on your screens with a Nomad ban to start things off. Interesting ban, so to speak, Nomad. But when it comes to Villa, you see Nomad bans quite often, primarily down to the fact that on Villa, map control and shutting down flanks is essential. And with the Nomad ban taken care of, the attackers have to sort of emphasize on different operators with claymores, or a gridlock could work as well, but they're not quite the same as a Nomad shutting down 3 whole lines of movement for defenders, just forcing them away to different other areas, choke points that the attackers can hold, or into a line of sight, just blowing them into the attackers' lines of sight. That is the power of the Nomad, and that's why she's been banned alongside Jackal, Malusi, and Wamai, all standard bans when it comes to the map of Villa, and that is going to be what ends the ban phase. Round 1 is about to be underway in a quick minute, ladies and gentlemen, as this exciting game is going to be pretty interesting. We were sort of talking about this game before the match started, me, Foxy, and Admin, of course, and we sort of, seem to agree that Clickbait certainly seems like the stronger team here, but of course I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of myself. Let's have a look at both of the rosters that are in the lobby for us today. From the side of Clickbait, we've got Teddy or Noxy, Zam, Luxia, and Kingslayer, and from the side of D3, we've got Ringmaster, Rux, Acid, Extreme, and a Shockwave. Aviator Games Room will be the side of choice to start things out with a 6-pick onto the Pulse.
All right, first things first, right off the bat, this is definitely going to be a very, very kill-hungry approach to a match that we are going to get to see. And I'm so glad it's going to be on a map like Villa. Obviously, it would have been fun to see something like that go down in a very rightful environment. So a map like Coastline, one might say. But I think personally, coming down to a map like Villa, that happens to offer so many things than just what our linear maps happen to offer just in general. So speaking of which, and starting things off right away, D3, first things first, D3 Team Sky looking like a very, I'd say it looks like a very robotic name, Just happened to come up with a model of a robot, and maybe it's just because of alphabet and a number, then followed by a word that has a sky in it. Takes me right close to somewhere around the thinking circle of Skynet. So yeah, D3 Team Sky, definitely a very Android-ic name. Honestly, I love the name. It's really good. But names apart, it's going to take more than just names. We did get to see them come out with such a good emphasis right from the beginning. The entirety of the prep phase, I was talking about the name, but something I think we happened to notice through our visual feed at least, was some really good setup coming out from D3. We saw the Pulse and the Mute just straight up leaving for the bottom setup in the beginning of the round, and there you go. We're getting to see the roam presence onto downstairs as well. Soft walls being left on the side, but that's just all part of the strategy. Rux almost getting a one-tap onto the Ash, but Lakshya is a little more wiser than that, honestly. We've seen him come out with some of the best of the plays, and look at this. This is going to be the entirety of the match. Who wins which gunfight? Lakshya has taken some damage, but he traded some off onto Rux as well. Acid, meanwhile, not able to calm himself, and that is exactly what it is. It's just going to be a back and forth of these gunfights that we get to see from them. A C4 gets prepped. Does not do a whole lot except for damage onto the Pulse, but that's not a whole lot either. So yeah, it's a wasted potential of a C4, but I wouldn't really be sad with it. It's a good attempt coming in from the side of the defense and just shutting down the side of the attack. But yeah, now the position's given away, and the Hibana breach. Wait a minute, Lakshya with his plays. He's onto his side. He's got the drop on the Jaeger, but he gets refract quickly enough from D3. That'll be acid to shut him down, but that's not enough, people. We're getting to see the plan being stuck onto D4. The side control is on the side of the attacker. Steadier drops another. Where is the C4 from below? We've got Shockwave below, but no C4s, and there you go. The Mozzie is going to get dropped. C4 came in, but that was a little too late. Teddy are trying to find the final frag as well. This is definitely a very kill-hungry moment for him. He's going to get shut down, but Kingslayer is here to take care of Shockwave. Clickbait starting things off with a very aggressive first round, and look at that. A lovely push coming in from the Ash, just happening to push the entirety of his team into good momentum, just swinging in onto site. The moment he had information that this doorway is not being watched, you saw him pick up that pace. You saw him get off that door and just ram into sight, get that first kill. And even if the follow-up was not present, it was his teammates who were right behind him. Good follow-up from the first round coming in from Team Clickbait. Let's see what more we get to see as we happen to go ahead and, hey, once again, we're headed back to Aviator and Games Room.
Standard side pick coming out from the side of D3. Their setup certainly did leave quite a bit to be desired, all things considered. They had a fairly interesting setup, something that we thought we would get to see from them, be put into good execution, but it wasn't to be. A Clickbait just like Foxy said, bash their way into sight, sort of brute force their way in there, and the follow-up, albeit a little late, was still very, very potent. Right now, we're just waiting on Zam to load into the game. Me thinks he might need an SSD. He's going to have to play quite well this season for that, of course. And right now, we will, in fact, be going into round 2, second floor AVG. Of course, it was only the first round that we just got to see. Nothing too special, other than the fact that Clickbait really took the fight to D3 when they least expected it, and D3 will have to play a little bit more cautiously inside a site. The first refrag was all right. Everything after that, however, not so much. We're seeing a good setup, an interesting setup once again, with reinforcements and resources being used down below in library. Not what you get to see, normally from the side of teams playing Villa. Usually it's very standard horizontal pressure and horizontal counter pressure from the attackers, but not this time. They're playing vertical. You've got Shockwave and Rux down here playing for the Pulse, who will be down below. And that's why the reinforcements are there. That's why the Mozzie is there primarily to save at least one C4 in case the plant is going off anywhere they can get information on. Mozzie with his drones could be able to do a vertical C4 play. Pulse, of course, we all know the cardiac sensor, ever so fatal for the side of the defenders. Clickbait, of course, will be well aware of that. They saw the setup the last round, and they're seeing it again. Luxia might be the one to come in and start really going off on them as he did in the last round. But, of course, for now, Clickbait will just have to hold back and play to their strengths. Gather intel, take out utility, do whatever resource work they need to do, manage it properly, and push for sight. The Goyo in play is certainly going to change things up slightly, because that's going to be more deployable shields for them to sort of break through. But they're already making good headway. We've got Kingslayer on landing, facing 90. He knows there's a Jaeger there. That's the pings coming out. That's a lot of information given away. And D3, they're going to have to work around this, because if they don't, Clickbait will be very quickly taking this round off of their hands.
That's exactly what they want to do already. The damage comes in. Kingslayer will be the first one to fall. That was a good pick from Shockwave. He made sure he shut down the Zofia early before we got to see that destructive nature of her come out to its truest sense. They still got the Pulse giving so much more information to his teammates. Ringmaster, meanwhile, is going to find Zam, a really good name once again. Random name appreciation sentence out there. Ringmaster, definitely a beautiful name, but not a beautiful shot though. It was a good spray intended for the ace, but he got the better of him. Luxia, meanwhile, finds another. He's on the side. He's on Walt. That's a very influential place for him to be on. Might be able to get the second one. That is his double people. He'll make sure he shuts Acid down. Noxy going for the plant, and we've still got ourselves a 2 versus 3 possible retake situation from Shockwave. Noxy a little too confused. He's just going to move to and fro about this. I'm not sure if he'll be able to find the defender right now. Mozzie swings in wide. He gets the frag onto the ace. But still got Rux trying to find one more. He does a lot of damage on Lakshya, and Lakshya will get down.
Defenders
A
have
1 versus
located
2.
the
A
diffuser.
retake is going so far so well, and looks like Teddy does not know the defuse is counter defuse is already in from Rux. No, there you go. The Goyo shield is going to get popped. That drops one. Does it drop the second? That was very well played from the side of Teddy Oy. Just using the time, using the defenses, using the defenses against them. Look at that play from the man. Composed, and very well calculated play from the Hibana. Teddy Oy just knew exactly what he had to do, just had to beat the time. But more importantly, he knew exactly where he happened to stand up on. He knew what advantages he could take from position like that, and he did exactly that. Once again, Team Clickbait not failing to impress us with their plays, and honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we just keep spectating Lakshya until we have the first few frags drop in the round. It's just him who just happens to bring out the first kill, or sometimes the first death as well. Just as things happen to go down. Not He's not at the best of, if I may, best of outcomes when it goes the other way around. But that being said, we'll be seeing a quick six pick come out and round three proceed ahead as
Attackers
well.
need to locate
It's
and defuse
definitely
the
been a
bomb.
to and fro, but once again, we're back. We're headed to Aviator and Games Room. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the obsession from the side of D3 Team Sky is about this side, but I don't blame them. They want to try and stick this. They might as well try and do that. We'll see what comes out of it, though. We'll be underway with the prep phase.
Most certainly, because coming to Aviator in Games Room for the third time from the side of D3, I believe their thinking here is that they really managed to get it down to a 1v2 right towards the end.
10
And
seconds to
what actually, lost them the round was mostly
5
just
seconds to go.
coincidence, if I am to use that word, because the Goyo shield
Attackers
was
must
still
locate and defuse the
alive,
bomb.
and I didn't notice that for the longest time, because of course my mic was muted on the stream. Nobody heard it, but I was wide mouthed, completely speechless overall. But I had
Oh.
some few choice words to say in the background.
Blackjack, if I may stop you here, because coming back to the Goya shield still not being
Exactly, yeah.
detonated is also something that happens to speak about the defensive approach from the side of Team Sky.
Exactly.
They happen to be abandoning so many pivotal
Bomb
points on a
located by
map
attackers.
that people like Lakshya and Noxy
Yep.
are able to take advantage of.
That has certainly been a thing. Rux in the meanwhile taking a lot of damage, trying to find one. Will he find the Capital? Yes, he does. Zam, unfortunately, falling into the line of fire of the P10 Roni, gets his head taken clean off. Unfortunate for Capital. Zam tried to bring in a new operator, will be the first one to fall. But certainly, just like Foxy said, D3 in sight, not so much in their room, but in sight, have been prone to abandoning some very crucial lines of play in favor of other areas that they deem more important. Unfortunately, for the first two rounds, it didn't quite work out, and that's something they're gonna have to work on in this round going forward. We've got Lakshya already in study. How is he allowed to just get into places? How is he allowed to just get in and walk in and start taking bodies? What was Extreme doing? The mute just kind of sitting there on the main stairs, getting that taken clean up. The Ash pushes in. He's gonna find the other one. The SAS brother gets taken down, and there goes the GIGN one as well. That's Ringmaster gone. Suddenly, it's just Rux and Shockwave. ADS will find one of some of reaches. Not the second one, though. Nox is going to get the hard breach done. And there goes Rux. The Mozzie down. And the clash. 1v1. They can't do much against Zofia. Had her shield retracted. Tried to go for a bit of gunplay. Tried to turtle strat. None of that worked. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be round 3. Going the way of clickbait like we saw in the instant replay. It's not exactly a good start for the side of D3 Team Sky. Again, they were sort of quick to try and change their setup, change where they sort of hold, and they really didn't do that well. The mute going down on main stairs, certainly a point of contention, but there was no reason for Smoke to start running out of sight instantly to try and refract with the shotgun in hand. He could have played behind bar, waited for Luxia to come to him, and used his advantage. He didn't, hearing the pre-fire and going for a play that really just
Attackers need
was
to locate and
not
defuse bombs.
advisable. 3-0 on the halfway point of the first half. Clickbait in a very good position on the defender side of the map like Villa. 3-0 up speaks more to D3 not really showing up in this first bit, but of course it's only been the first 3 rounds. They can still come back from this. Will they be able to? The first step, changing up sites, and conveniently enough, we are on Trophy and Statutory Rune.
But at this point, maybe Team Clickbait, we might as well start calling them Team Quick Take. It's been quite the quick take onto the map from them. It's been honestly, it's really good. They've been very aggressive with it, and
Attackers are heading out to
You know,
defuse the bomb.
I mentioned that the other day while casting with Baba.
Yeah.
That you know, we've got your dad jokes, Baba's bad jokes, and my sad jokes. I think that's what the name of our trio should be, really.
so I'm actually glad that it somehow happens to rhyme as well as describe our comical representations of ourselves. And Noxy once again is going to start things off as apart from the kills that he's been racking up and accounting for them, something else he's going to have to do is quite a lawsuit that I'll be filing against him for stealing my name. But we've still got Teddy. He'll make sure he tries and keep things alive for himself. And more importantly, his team. It's been very easy, honestly, for Team Clickbait. At least the start of this round, getting the first 2 kills was very easy. Ringmaster and Acid happen to drop just like that, but Rux is not like them. Says no, gets a headshot on Luxia. That was a very important kill as well. Shutting down the Ash. You making sure that you're just happening to putting a huge dent on the side of Clickbait. But I'm afraid if that is enough to shut the side of the attackers down, the rest of them just as calm, just as composed. They're very determined, and they're looking to make this push happen on the side. Look at that, the drone works are coming in with so much information. Not enough. Shockwave is going to shut down Zam. We've got Kingslayer picking up Fightback, which is going to win. That will be Shockwave to get shut down. Extreme, meanwhile, he's down on site, and that's the finish up from Teddy Oy. Getting this impactful frag. He's on site. Rux is down below. It's a 1 versus 3 that he's got to fight. He'll make sure he gets the frag under the Sophia, though. He definitely can make this happen. He's still got the C4. The plant is being stuck. Goyo comes up the astronomy stairs. Right up next on the chopping block is going to be the Hibana, or is that going to be the Goyo? He takes a lot of damage, but he shuts down Noxy. This might as well just be the clutch. What a pre-fire that just came in from him. We didn't quite catch that, but that was more than just quick speed. That was a possible clutch situation that he just put himself up against. Teddy Oy has to go for the reload, and he'll win that fight. He wins these. Teddy Oy, you do not walk away from this match crosshairs. He's been good with these finishers, not only getting those impactful and pivotal kills and moving on the side, he gets these clutches done. 1v1 against Teddy Oy, you don't win. That was a cleanup once again on Clickbait. 4-0 people, and we're headed to round 5. And hey, once again, quite the performance from these teams, but it's been Team Clickbait to take that title away.
Oh, most certainly. Both sides fighting quite hard, but it is clearly going to be the side of Clickbait who are taking and shaping a very dominant match so far. If we can have a look at the scoreboard, our dear admin Eisen, there we go. Thank you very much. 6-5 to Teddy Oy and Lexia. You really can't escape their crosshairs, but you don't want to look away from Kingslayer. That man may be in the 4th position in terms of his points gathered, but he's got 5 kills. He's been doing his job silently in the background. Noxy and Zam bringing up the rear with their support, the breaching, and everything else as it goes. Rux nearly had it in the last round, just like we saw in the previous round. He nearly had it with the Goyo in hand, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be. 1v3, 1v2, but the 1v1, I just couldn't. You really don't escape from a Clickbait when they're playing like this. Even though Clickbait's mid-round has been a little lackluster, they've been prone to losing bodies, especially after getting the plant off. But they've managed to find themselves in positions where they can clutch out the 1v, however many defenders are remaining. And D3, unfortunately, they've been too quick to abandon important positions of sight, too quick to try different peaks, too quick to just really do things that they don't need to do if they just calm down and hold. That's all they really need to do. It's something I say to my friends a lot when we're playing rank as well. Hold. They need to do that, and they need to just relaxed. They aren't doing that. You can feel it. They're tense. They're sort of all over the place, and it's really hurting them right now. They're going to need to work on that quite a bit. And they're also going to need to work on stopping Luxia because the man is already very close to site, but they've barricaded off both site entry doors just for him, knowing that he's going to make a fast approach. Meanwhile, Aston taking a lot of damage, but there we go. Kingslayer will go down from the pulse. Not before there was a body dropped, and that was Shockwave in the meanwhile. That's a big, big kill. Mind you, the Mozzie going down, but more importantly, the Zofia is down. Kingslayer could have done a lot of work with the amount of resources that he has, but Luxia, he's in, he's busted into sight. He's been spotted, however, and the cross angle's there for him this time around. Looks like D3 is doing exactly what they need to do, which is just calm down and hold. They've taken a very important kill with Luxia gone. The Sleeper's going to come in. Rux, there we go. He's going to get one. No, he won't. That's a hard ceiling, and that will not be a defender down, but Ringmaster is going to find Kedua in the meanwhile. That's a good required kill right there, leaving Noxie and Zam, the last two standing. Minute 20 on the clock, and suddenly D3 are looking pretty strong right now.
Looks like D3 has something to say about Clickbait taking so much more advantage already away from them. But Extreme finding himself in a tough spot. He's going to get taken down. Here's the reply back from Rux. He's definitely put this in a 1 versus 3 situation for Noxie to fight against. He's got more than enough time, 60 seconds of not a whole lot of HP left, and not the life left either. Ringmaster will make sure he puts his sights on him and gets that frag done. Well and good from the side of D3, honestly. Team Sky making sure that they don't turn out to be ugly, at least in the first half, because coming back to a 4-1 scoreline, it's just the way Team Clickbait has been playing, man. Honestly, you get to see them come out with so many more aggressive rounds like these. It was only about time till we got to see that first round come out from D3. Team Sky. Rux, though, able to put so many kills for himself. It's just been him having a good day, or is it the rest of his players having a bad day? Because from the looks of it, 4-1 is not the best scoreline you want to find yourselves in, especially while you happen to start off on defense on a map like Villa. Does happen to be defender favored, irrespective of the bans. Right now, we're headed to kitchen and dining, and it looks like that side change was something that I think D3 Team Sky needed so direly, and that's exactly what we're getting to see. Then we'll be headed into the last round before the role swap happened, people. And just from the looks of it, definitely my bet would be on Clickbait, but I wouldn't bank too much on it as well. We've seen D3 Team Sky come out with some amazing plays before. It's just the fact that I've seen the players of D3 getting caught off at unfortunate locations and positions and situations, for that matter, and all of that just adds up to that huge deficit we're getting to see right now. That 3-round score difference. We'll be headed into the action phase onto round 6. Let's see what we can make out of this match.
Well, right now, going to kitchen. Again, a pretty smart move, all things considered, from D3, because they really did not look good on Aviator. And, you know, one could say that Trophy wasn't exactly the best, cleanest side from them either in the one round that they have taken so far, but they've still taken that round. That's what really matters right there, the fact that they have a round under their belt. Extreme, in the meanwhile, hiding behind the washing machine and laundry. It's very close to the door. It's a very hard area to really spot unless you're looking for someone in that specific region. And they will be. There we go. Extreme's going to get droned out. Can't even take out the drone early. He's going to have to fall back nice and quickly. And Luxia, unfortunately for him, he will not be getting a kill this early in the round. Shockwave might, though. There's an upside-down rappel on the astronomy window. That's Noxie, who's trying to see if he can get somebody. Extreme in the middle, trying to take a gunfight. Ringmaster will go down once again. Kingslayer finding somebody early, and who is that? It is Ringmaster yet again. Shockwave trying to go for this gunfight, but there's somebody on second floor, and that is, of course, the Mozzie, who has to contend with the Zofia coming his way right now. Concusses him, but he's still looking towards bathroom, but no, the head will be a Mozzie that gets taken. Oh, nice and quickly. Luck finds another. Somehow the Reef missing a shot. And now, suddenly, it's a 5v2. Clickbait with a very strong take, but Teddy, that was a bad push. Very bad push indeed. Trying to jump in through the pantry stairs window, getting taken out by a Pulse, who has been sitting there for quite a while. But then you have the smoke getting taken out by an angle that the defenders themselves were the ones to open. Luxia will be the one to find Rux. And that is going to be the end of D3's kitchen take and the end of their defensive rounds in total in the first half, because we're on round 7 already. Very quickly into the other side of roll swap, and D3 are down 1-5.
D3, I would say that they did not exactly have a great round coming back, and they definitely not had a great first half. But I would love to take a look at the scoreboard. There you go. Rux has brought out 8 frags for himself. We've talked about this. He's been doing that heavy lifting for his side. And I did just get to see a possible 0 pick, and looks like he'll just get 6 picked out. But coming back on the side of a team Clickbait, quite the stuff once again. 8 frags on their side. We've got Kingslayer coming in with the highest frags and a triple kill to even secure those 8 frags for himself in the last round. That is just not it, people. Clickbait has come out to much better situations. We've seen them play out so much more, but this is definitely one of those prime times of watching Clickbait, wasting no time in getting that advantage right off in the first half. 5-1, more than just advantage. They are 1 run away from taking this to match point. Once it happens to go to match point, it's just it's a sort of a ticking time bomb for the side of D3 Team Sky to try and make sure they try and diffuse that situation, because from there on, every single round that you happen to put on board is going to count. That being put aside, will be started off with the dining and kitchen as the first site. That's good stuff from Team Clickbait, as the setup will be quite well emphasized as well. We're getting to see the Valkyrie being brought on board, obviously with the aggression that Clickbait likes to offer. This was expected. Valkyrie for the information trade-off. Got Luxia and Teddy, both of them running the GSG9 brothers. That's so much more fighting power that he's just happened to bring out. Noxy, he's brought out the old trusty denial, the old trusty sentinel for the defense. That's the smoke. Zam will be making sure he comes in with the map control and denial as well. That's the Goyo emphasis. Once again, Clickbait, we've seen them come out with some really beautiful Goyo plays, especially just as to their strategies and just as to how they happen to look like. Well, that's only 2 minutes into this second half of the match. There's so many things that are still lots to find, I'm sure, from the side of the attack, as well as I'll still be seeing Luxia very ecstatic, very eager to find a frag. It'll be Shockwave to shut a defender down. Noxy, your smoke has gotten taken down, and there goes another. Rux comes in with a frag of his own, and looks like Team Sky has definitely started off to a very advantageous start, and just from the looks of it, the second half might turn out to be different in terms of what we've gotten to see. Luxia trying to keep things alive. He's going to get a quick refrag. Does he get this double up? No. He's going to get shut down, and that does put situations a whole lot more difficult for the side of the defense. Zam and Kingslayer are the only ones left alive, are 2 versus 4 with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock.
1 minute and 20, roughly speaking, remaining for the side of D3, as they have all the advantage in the world. They can establish verticality with ease, not worry about too much other than Zam, the man with this. Kingslay's used up his, unfortunately, and that's going to leave the Goyo with his own to try and deny entry for the side of D3. Try and deny verticality, anything that he can, but he's going to be spotted. Ringmaster trying to take him out, isn't going to do any damage either. Zam still approaching. He's being spotted from above, and he will finally understand that moving out of that position that he's in is going to be very risky. Throws the C4 out, isn't going to find anybody, unfortunately, and all it's going to take is one Ash charge from that laundry entry, and extreme in the middle. Gonna get taken out. That's the Valkyrie coming in to save the hide of the Goyo. Kingslayer found one. I mean, here's the barricade being broken. Will he find the Ash? No, he won't. Rux will be the one to take his double. Will they get his triple? It's all down to the Goyo as damage will be done. The Vector comes in. It's found one. It's a 1v2. The plant was going off, but it hasn't gone off yet. Doesn't matter. Shockwave comes in. Takes out Zam. That is D3 Team Sky finally taking their second round. A much needed round 2 for them, as they will put themselves up on the scoreboard just a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen. An orange win to first floor kitchen and dining. But unfortunately, looks like D3 are asking for a rehost due to their player having left the lobby. That's a little unfortunate, arguably the worst time for a disconnect, I believe. And that is going to put us back into the rehost, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very unfortunate indeed, but we will be going into this quickly and coming back from it very quickly as well. We had a rehost from the previous game that went by very fast as well, and hopefully this one will as well. And we're just waiting on the players, once the lobby gets set back up, to join back into the lobby. But, all things considered, 5-2 to clickbait. I mean, so far, it's been what me and Foxy we sort of talked about in the pre-game, that it would be a team clickbait match, and so far it's been that way. It's really up to the side of D3 to try and turn things around, because if they're not able to, then they're going to have some issues and they need to fix those issues quickly. And their attack round was indicative of something that could potentially put them back on the map for this match.
This might just be that. This might just be the downfall of Team Clickbait as well. And just as daringly as I happened to talk about it, D3 Team Sky, they're not new to this game. It's not like they're new to the competitive scene either. We've seen them have better days, and this just turns out to be rather one of those off days. And speaking of which, though, the second half turning out to be so much more promising for them. D3 Team Sky looking and trying everything that they've got for themselves into trying to shut down Team Clickbait into getting themselves that match point situation, because right now is where they're able to act up against them. They're able to put those rounds on board. That's what matters, and that's exactly what we're getting to see them come out with. D3 Team Sky. They've had a fresh start, if I may, starting off on the second half of this match, but that's just the first half of the story. Team Clickbait has come out with a fairly better place. Let's face it. They've been able to demolish and just dismantle the entirety of D3 Team Sky, able to pick them one by one. That's been something that I haven't gotten to see happen so smoothly over the time, at least not on a usual Villa match, not usually at least. But hey, that's definitely the outlook that I'm having, that we happen to see going towards into this match. Team Clickbait and T3 Team Sky. Right now, in my opinion, both of them are equally away from getting the victory for themselves. But yeah, it's definitely, I wouldn't blame you if you're trying to place your bet on Team Clickbait. They definitely started off strong, but Team Sky is not out of this competition, not yet.
Most certainly not. And one has to think after that attacking round, Clickbait will really have to take stock of the situation, because this rehost, along with that round loss, will really put a dent in the momentum, a stop, if you will. And they are going to need to effectively start that momentum from scratch, because all things considered, sure, we don't exactly know D3's reasoning outside of a disconnection for the rehost, of course, but regardless of whatever it was, it's still a fairly lengthy break. A whole round could have been played by the time we usually come back, and those are the quick rehosts, ladies and gentlemen, where all the players join in as fast as possible. So even in this sort of a situation, that's a whole round's worth of momentum that the side of Clickbait will lose on top of a round lost. That effectively puts a stop to all their momentum, and they need to build it back up once again. They're going to have to do that this time around if they really want to make this match their own. They have advantage. They're one round away from match point. They're on the defense on Villa. It On paper, it really sounds like everything is supposed to go their way. But again, that one round from the side of D3 Team Sky really showed us that they on the attack can do similar, if not more damage to defending teams than Clickbait could already. And Clickbait's attack was
Mhm.
already one to be feared, ladies and gentlemen. Like on Villa, going 5-1 up on the attack, it's certainly something to behold. But then you have D3 coming in on the attack and saying, you did that, we can do you one better, at least for this for this first round. Excuse me, right there. We're just waiting on D3 themselves to join back in. They were the ones who called the rehost, of course, so understandably, they would take a little bit of time to get back in as soon as they can. Two players remaining, and we'll be back into the action. One player remaining, in fact. Extreme just joined us back. and we're just waiting on the last player. Speaking of lasts left, we do still have one more game after this one, and that is Throw Syndicate versus Sage Empire. Pretty big game, all things considered, as both teams are coming into Div 3, and I believe Sage Empire is returning to Div 3,
That's
which
right.
will mark a grand occasion for them as their first match in this season. But of course, like I said, is the match after this one, because all players are back in the lobby and we are now making sure that the match history and the round count has been set back in properly. We'll be coming back 5-2 on the scoreboard in favor of Team Clickbait, the blue team, who are now on defense, having just lost first floor, dining, and kitchen. There we go. Ready confirmations in, and the match is about to begin. Like I said, there's a little bit of time, a little bit of preparation that goes into everything, just to make sure that we're all set and we're all ready,
I
and
mean
there
that
are
that
no
definitely
issues. Yeah.
happens to give so much more time to Team Clickbait as well, along with D3 Team Sky, just able to take their sweet time and just use this. I'd say use this time that is being expelled right now into putting your strategies right, into getting your mindset done and dusted. Well done and dusted, in fact, because once we happen to head into the second half of the match, it's definitely going to be an interesting take. Round 8, that is exactly where we're going to begin off from. They've got enough time to get themselves back up on the composure. D3 Team Sky happened to start off on the 5-2 deficit, but they just might be on this climb of this comeback. We'll be headed into the match, people, right now. Round 8 will be underway. 5-2 is the scoreline. Let's see what it happens to unfold.
Going to Aviator Games Room, interesting decision from the side of the defense, and that is, of course, Team Clickbait. Aviator has been somewhat of an odd sight tonight, because while Kitchen and Trophy have been won by both sides to a certain extent, Aviator was an attacker-only site for 3 rounds straight, looking at the match history right now. So the side of Clickbait have quite the battle in this site itself. It's sort of like its own mini battle in the overall war being waged. That is this match. And I say that because usually when it comes to matches that have these sorts of trends, they usually happen to go that same way for that one site all the time, really. All the time. We've seen it on Villa itself, time and time again. Trophy randomly becoming an attacker-sided site, despite it being one of the most selected defender sites in the entire map. You have first floor dining that can do a similar job, all things considered. It's a pretty good site, underpicked if you ask me, primarily because of Aviator and Statutory being just such good second floor sites. And the fact that first floor has some issues with vertical gameplay that some teams just don't want to fight against. Right now, of course, they don't have to worry about any of that. It will be mostly horizontal pressure, excuse me, right there, from both teams, mostly D3 Team Sky, as there is almost no vertical play coming out from Team Clickbait outside of, and I can see one operator all the way down in the basement in barrels. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Could be the Mozzie, could be the Jaeger. Actually, it is most likely, no, it's not Luxia. Who is that? We're about to find out in a quick second, of course, as or was that just my imagination? Could have been just my imagination, ladies and gentlemen. Teddy Boy, it's actually the Valkyrie, now that I figured it out. Luxia's going to take a kill onto Rux. That's a big drop. That's the Ash already gone, and that's a study push that they're trying to go for. The Jaeger will be spotted, however, on main stairs, and he's not going to be deterred despite giving away his position. Luxia, that is what you like to see from the man. He is very undeterred in this push, and he will get a second head for his trouble. Dropping extreme, tried to get a third, but could not. That was the main stairs push coming in, but that's denied instantly from the Valkyrie. Refract comes in, it's a 4v2. 1 minute 35 seconds, and D3 already in a terrible state. Acid gets one, that knocks you off the board, but they still have one of the big players, 2 of the big players, in fact, Teddy and Kingslayer, still alive, still active. Without shutting them down, this round is not going to be easy for D3.
It's definitely not going to be easy. Look at that. Teddy UI swings wide and gets another. He knows where the last attacker is, and he gets that frag as well. Yes. Acid will be the one to take the fall. That was quite the stuff from Team Clickbait once again. They will take their long overdue match point that they wanted for themselves. That we'll be taking a quick look at that in the instant replay as well, people. We're headed to round 9 with match point on the side of the defense right now. 6-2 is the score, and they're looking to close this up right here, right now. Possibly turn this into a 7-2, but that's only a situation. That's only an answer that we'll be finding uh, as we happen to go ahead into this round. But just as we happen to speak about it, T3 Team Sky just taking away that, taking away a little bit of that momentum from the side of the defense was just not enough. They were able to put a dent on them for 2 rounds, but that has just been it. We're not able to see them come out with a bit more pushback. That is just the case. We'll be seeing a quick 6 pick coming in from the Sophia onto the IQ as well from the attackers. That is Team 3, D3 Team Sky, of course.
Attackers need to locate
And
defuse
right
bombs.
now, the site is a statue and a trophy room. This has been a very defendable site going back to what we get to see. Extended roam all the way on the side of the south side of this map. That's exactly what Syndicate is going to bring out this time around as well. We've got to see amazing roamers, amazing frag potential from the side of Team Clickbait, and that's why just to maximize that attribute that their team just happens to have, they're going to make sure they're bringing this extensive roam with some good setup just to make sure that people like Lakshya, you've got Zam, they're able to, Terio in fact, they're able to play in situations much more favorable for them, because they're definitely looking like they want to secure this match for themselves right here, right now. Meanwhile, D3 Team Sky, they've got to make the push happen. They've got to make the push back on. In fact,
The attackers bomb
they've got to
diffuser
fight a
has been
whole
dropped.
lot now that
Attackers
you've
have
got the
recovered
match
their
point
diffuser.
just out there. Team Clickbait sitting very comfortably so on that status and that position for them. Not sure that's the best hiding spot for a Valkyrie though. I still be seeing just move him all the way on the side of basement to Teddy UI, trying to find any early aggressive frags. That is, of course, if anybody chooses to go in from that entryway right now. I don't think that is going to be anybody from the side of T3. 2 minutes are left into this round as we are already getting to see not a whole lot of headway from the side of the attackers. They are looking to contest the extensive roam along with the passive presence outside the bedroom as well. Or is that a whole lot and the other way around? That'll be the vice versa or not. Noxy is going to be the first one to take the fall. That was some good roam here coming in from Extreme. That is the Blackbeard spearheading the attack. We've got so much headway already happening with the entirety of the south hallway giving away for the Blackbeard for the taking. Lakshya, he still wants to peek. He wants to give away his position as well, but that's Extreme. He's just going to have to move with pre-fires all the way till he happens to find a frag. The rifle shield is on his face, but the HP, not the most favorable health to be in if you want to pick a fight against the Mozzie or the Jaeger for that matter. A drone war comes in to help him as we happen to hit the minute and the 30 mark. It is definitely a testing times, and there you go. The Blackbeard walks in, but he gets taken down right back. They're still able to walk away with another frag though. Turned out to be a very good trade-off for him. 2 kills and 1 death. D3 Team Sky looking like they might be able to use this man advantage for themselves.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Oh, certainly, but the Mozzie is about to face the music. No, he's not. He's going to turn it around. Zam gets a double and then manages to get away from the Ash before Rux could take his life. Luxia may be down, but Zam's coming in, but he's going to go down as well as suddenly the 3-man push about to come in, but that's the diffuser drop. The mute from outside of Fox window takes one, gets refragged on re-entry. Shockwave will take a kill. The Valkyrie goes down, and so does the last remaining defender. Very quickly and very suddenly, simultaneous body drops, and that's unfortunate. From the astronomy stairs, Tedio tried to contest onto bathroom, but was not able to really make it count. He couldn't make it count, and that what cost him his life. And that is why we're going to see Trophy Room one more time. This match ain't quite over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. The Blackbeard Peak seems to be working out for the side of the orange team, D3, as Extreme. He took 2 very important heads. It wasn't just operators that were dropping, it was also very important players who were being dropped. But of course, with Blackbeard comes a few setbacks to the team in terms of their utility clearance, because Blackbeard's main gadget isn't really anything that works for teams per se. It's mostly for himself. There's not much synergy you can do other than basic coordination, and maybe if he brings flashbangs, then some utility clearance. Some could argue Zofia is better suited, but for D3 right now, they need to try whatever works. They need to sort of throw things at the wall to see what sticks. Blackbeard did for 1 round, so there's no harm in trying him again on Stats 4. and trophy room on this 10th round. The D3 very close to, not very close, they're sort of starting up, trying to act up into this potential comeback they're trying to stage right here.
10
But
seconds to
Clickbait,
insertion.
knowing them, they will be, they'll be on
5
their
seconds left
toes.
before
They'll be
insertion.
looking for those weaknesses. They couldn't quite find them. They were in fact
Attackers' objective is
found
to locate
and
a bomb
taken
and
down in the
defuse it.
last round. But this round could be different. Clickbait has done this before. In this match itself, even after losing a round, they're not ready to give up. And even if there's a back and forth established here, that would mean Clickbait has a better chance of taking this round, which would give them the match itself. Luxia, he hears the barricade breaking next to him. There's also the Ash that has to be careful of. The IQ comes in. Do they know his position? They seem to, but the pre-fire won't work. Luxia takes one. That's a big job, but he gets reflagged onto instantly as the Ash will finish off.
A quick refrag and shutting down the pulse earlier. It was very necessary, but you've lost Ringmaster in that trade-off, and now we are seeing ourselves in a 4 vs 4 as we are headed to the 2-minute mark. Rux very ecstatic. He is going to make his way up top, but that Legion mine is what is giving away his position. Noxy just farming a few more mines and letting them out. He's going to take some damage, and that is, of course, the Ash. But the Legion's position as well is now being given away. So many soft walls. A wallbang could follow up any moment now. We're seeing the drone walls come out as well. That means the pings will be into effect. We've still got the Jaeger helping the Legion, just making sure they stay in this position. But how long is that going to turn out to be useful? Zam with the one tap. I think that came out from the long hallway. Very good one. In fact, onto Extreme. That's your Blackbeard taken down. I still got a whole lot more to fight against. 4 versus 3. T3 Team Sky looking like they might just lose this round, because just from the deficit of it, we've got Shockwave all the way on the side of the site, while Acid still grappled along with the Rux making the push from the side of Trophy and Study Room. Rux, the Ash, he's just going to move all the way on the side of main stairs. There's a push up, and there will be
Bomb
caught.
located by
Noxy's going to make sure, Noxy's rather going to get shut down from Rux, as that has been quite the stuff once again from D3 Team Sky. Team Clickbait just able to give away that advantage. Kingslayer is going to get that frag onto Acid. He was rappelled. He got that wall peak anyway done and dusted. They still got another attacker closing in on him. Quick reflexes is what is going to award him another kill. And that was the cleanup, people. Team Clickbait will win on match point on round 10. That was long overdue, just from the way they happened to bring up.
Oh,
but
no.
the play they bring, that was sad. That is very sad. Man just happened to get off the drones. He's watching a movie. Not the most pleasant one, like it looks like. So definitely.
One could say that was quite explosive.
Well, I'm not going to be naming any directors that happen to end with the last name of Bay, but it was quite the explosive finish to a match that is quite explosive as well. It was good performance from Team Clickbait overall. They did have their own mistakes that we did get to see the opponents make the better of them. But towards the end, they made sure that they had their own calm and composure into making that final round count. But that was just the second match. We've still got one more, but before we head to that as well, we'll obviously be going quickly through the highlights of the last match. That is, of course, reliving the moment, people, which will be live on your screens right now. As you take a look at this, just what we got to see from the side of both these teams. It just happens to speak volumes. D3 Team Sky not able to feel the first half of it entirely while you happen to be on defense. That's a very crucial moment, just as we happen to consider it. You come down to a map like Villa, defense is supposed to be your forte. At least just the way. All right, that sentence sounded wrong on so many levels. Nothing's supposed to be a forte. So just on a general scale, we do get to see the side of the defense happen to be much more confident, just from the history of what we got to see of these teams play out as well on the Villa. But that was not the case today. Clickbait came out overly strong and overly. I think they are very hungry right now, trying to get the Division 2 spot. Just from the looks of it, the players they're missing that heat. Takes back to the days where Team Havoc would love to play and Div to just feeling the heat of the moment, able to stomp on 1, 2 and whatnot. How many teams we've seen them come out with plays like that? But right now, it's that rebrand is definitely working out for them. It's looking very attractive. They've been putting out some really good matches, not just from the qualifiers. Even this match is a very good evidence of that. Is definitely they've come out to a very stronger performance than what we got to see from them usually, and that is just that has just been evident from the scoreline as well. So we happen to proceed to the round in question right now. In fact, this was a very good round from the side of Team Sky. They tried and turn this around for them for the first time. In fact, this was a good stoppage to the momentum that Clickbait happened to put on board for themselves. Noxy just did not have it to make this clutch happen. But that out of the way, once again, takes us back to how Clickbait just made sure they had very little emphasis as to what we got to see from them in terms of utility clearance, but it was just a much more kill frenzy, a kill heavy approach, and that's what we love to see from them. There's nothing wrong about that. That's what you're strong with, that's what you'll roll with. Zam came so close to a possible clutch, but just was not enough. So second half, we didn't get to see a whole lot from Team Clickbait, at least in the start of it. The Rios acting as a possible showstopper as well for the side of both these teams, but it was Clickbait who made sure they got their cards right. Teddy did this double kill towards the end as well. It was quite the stuff, and honestly, that's the best part of this team. That being said, this was in fact the last round that we got to see them come on. No, this is the second last round in fact. But hey, yeah, still my statement still stands. Clickbait on another level. They're looking like they might be getting the Div 2 spot for themselves, and I don't think there's any other speculation I can make out of it.
Most certainly, with that Div 2 spot very much in contention right now for Team Clickbait. They still have quite a few matches to go through and quite a few other very hard to beat teams to go through as well. Teams that have been stuck in Division 3 for a while now. Teams who are coming back to Division 3 as well after losing out on a previous season. It's not going to make things any easier for them. That is for sure, ladies and gentlemen. And we will be more than excited to see those games, one of which is coming up to your screens right after a short break. And that is Throw Syndicate versus Sage Empire, who are coming back to Div 3 after a little break and a qualifiers phase under their belts. Are they going to be able to continue that streak that they had in the qualifiers to give themselves another chance at staying in the league? We're about to find out on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and our admin, Eisen, as we are here for the final game of the first day of Division 3 tonight, and that is going to be a pretty interesting game, all things considered, because it is Sage Empire taking on the team Throw Syndicate on the map of Coastline. It's not Oregon, it's not Clubhouse, and it is Coastline, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since we've seen Coastline, all things considered, but then again, it's also been a while since we've seen Villa, so I'm just happy to not have to cast those same maps over and over again. Turns out Foxy's speech worked, and we will be going into the match in the ban phase right here, right now. Joining all of the players as the first ban of the night has been Blackbeard, coming out from the side of Throw Syndicate. Well, it is, of course, Coastline. Blackbeard bans are fairly common here, all things considered, because there's many windows, lines of sight, long hallways that Blackbeard can just sit and hold and hold and hold until the end of time, basically. Nomad, on the other hand, will be the ban coming out from the side of Sage Empire, and all things considered, another very standard ban from Sage, who will also go on to ban Valkyrie. That's her Navy SEALs taken care of. Very standard Coastline stuff. Map control is denied to attackers, and of course, Sage Empire, they were the ones to ban Nomad because they know that going up against Throw Syndicate, you want to have your flank routes and your runouts and all of those open. Final ban on the night tonight. Throw Syndicate have the last ban, and they will decide to take out Maestro, finishing off our quadruple operator ban phase. Blackbeard, Nomad, Valkyrie, and Maestro, fairly diverse, all things considered. They each take up fairly unique roles in their own regard. Valkyrie and Maestro, the lines are a little bit more blurred there, but all things considered, a good set of bans and a good decision from both teams. With all that being said, I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Foxy, last match of the night. How do you feel?
Honestly, just looking at the rosters right now, I'm so excited. I just want to have them on the tip of my tongue right now. We've got Edrico, Montrosky, Electric, Washed Up Boomer, Yala from the side of Sage Empire. While on the side of Throw Syndicate, we've got Cheesy Chimkin, Easy, Abid, Shazam, and Killsteel. All of these players very well known, just as we happen to come off from this league and from the previous one as well. They've had their final breakthrough, both of them, into this division. Already starting off, this possible rematch of sorts. Just coming off from the qualifiers, you're able to just phase out of there and able to come into this and able to cross match between the qualifiers team that you happen to come through, that you did not happen to come through into phase one. It's definitely one of those days, but just from what we have right now, we've got the prep phase already going underway. The first set is going to be Luca, and I'm so happy that we're getting to see a Coastline map come out tonight. We've got to see 3 different maps in one stream day at the Pro League. Definitely an achievement in itself, as it's quite the variety and quite the diversity it just happens to offer. And hey, who does not love to come back on this colorful map? You've got the Lambo, you've got the pool, you've got the jacuzzi. In fact, what else more do you need? We've got Watch the Boomer, they'll bring out the Iana. Meanwhile, it's no surprise that we've got to see the Iana pick come out on a map like this, where the information as well as the frag power just becomes badly important and has to go hand in hand. Let's see if the attackers are able to pull that off. It's obviously an attacker favored map, but so far, with 1 minute into the round already, we've not got to see a whole lot of headway into the map from the side of Sage Empire. They're taking the sweet time. I don't really blame them. You want to make sure everything is accounted for, but you've also got to have your eyes on the clock. Might just run out. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. As we haven't hit the 2-minute marker, in fact, we've got the push coming in all the way on the side of Penthouse. Only one defender. That is going to be the roam play from EZ. That's your Jaeger, who might as well be able to exchange some gunfights with Yala, who's moving up from the bottom of White Star. He does hear the Jaeger come up, or is that the other way around? The boot being spotted through the door hole. I'm not sure who that was. That's all the way on the side of blue stairs, though. Yano knows exactly what's up. He's got the pre-fire coming in from the top, and the Jaeger has now got to play on his back foot. Adrico, meanwhile, he's going to go for the hard breach, and look at that gadget breach coming in from him. We got Watch the Boomer, meanwhile, finding a frag. That's the ER I talked about. That's information and gunpowder being brought on board, validly so. A minute left. We've got a drop coming in from the side of Sage Empire. It's a 4 versus 5 for Throw Syndicate to fight against.
4 versus 5, one man down on the
located by
defense. Throw
attackers.
Syndicate not looking too good in their starting, but of course it's only one man that has gone down, and the Lion actually tried to contest the drone hole angle. He's gonna get taken down, and more shots are being fired. Shazam, he knows that there's more inside of VIP. He wants more. He's a little greedy, but Super comes in, forcing him out temporarily before he goes right back in. A bit in the meanwhile finds one more. That's Washed Up. Boomer Diana gone, and another one before Shazam will drop to Electric. Bodies are dropping all over the place, but the Bandit has done a great job of stopping the push. Only to be caught changing, I don't know, to probably his C4. He's in the meanwhile finding Yala, leaves Electric, the last man standing. He barely just escaped from the gas grenade of the smoke that came his way inside of VIP. He's gone all the way towards luggage, only to be found by Cheesy
15
Chimpkins.
seconds
At
to
least
go.
location is known. The Omai is ready for this peak. Shots are fired,
seconds remaining.
and the Omai manages to catch utility. The Zofia comes in, only to be found, taken down. And Throw Syndicate will start off on the good foot of this match, taking round one very, very well indeed. We'll see that in the instant replay. That mostly came down to the gunpowder between both teams, who just wanted those kills. It was down to both sides really chasing kills more so than anything, while they tested out what what the other team was capable of, given the utility that was being placed down and used at the same time. Coastline, of course, attackers sided, all things considered, and a map, right there, and a map that really doesn't see much use of utility by the side of defenders, especially now in Operation Neon Dawn, where the utility meta has been thoroughly weakened quite
Attackers
a bit.
need to locate
All that
and
being
defuse
said,
the
it's only
bomb.
been the first round. There was a lot of speculation on what we may or may not see. And right now, round two, we'll see us go.
Discover the location
First
of
floor
a bomb.
kitchen and service entrance.
All right, so first thing, a very peculiar approach from the side of Throw Syndicate. We're getting to see them bring out on the defenses. They've got the gunpowder. They're bringing out operators that they can take advantage of in moments like these. But what they're doing essentially is no aggression from them. We don't get to see them even contest onto adjacent sites. We've seen them come up with some lurking goals here and there. We saw so much time being drained from the side of the attackers just into getting
5 seconds to
more
insertion.
information as hey, it's definitely a very intertwined web of its own. You try to get yourselves too emphasized into getting one part of the job done, you sometimes happen to forget the rest, and that was the case for Sage Empire coming off in the first round. Throw Syndicate playing on their own turf right now. They are making sure that they bring the attackers to them. No aggression, nothing too flashy. It's all going to be the crossfires that is going to get them the victory, and that's something we love to see. Let's see if let's see if that is going to be one of these rounds or not. Great drone works coming in from the side of that's going to be the Zofia, and we don't get to see the usual pulse come out. Usually when it comes to a map like this, and the kitchen being such a site, the floorboards do happen to be those very pivotal points of contest. And there you go. Speaking of which, Easy is all the way alone. In fact, over my on the side of officers, he's got help coming in, but the nade cook. Oh, look at this peak. Might this work? No, it won't. It does not even do a whole lot of damage. A bit. He's definitely got himself in a pinch here. He's got to go for the pre-fire, and he wins that. Gosh, the Boomer, not the best place to be on. Easy, meanwhile, found his own frag. On Montrosky, we see ourselves in a 3 versus 5. Make that a 3 versus 4 as a possible lag situation for Easy. Edrico will make sure he chimes in. He gets a double. We just see him take that quick peek onto the Legion, and that was the frag for him to take, bringing that man count into 3 versus 3. We'll be seeing him push on the side of officers. He might see a possible retaliation from the Throw Syndicate, as we've got a bit still holding down the side of officers, but E1D goes off. Let's see if this fight happens to turn in his favor.
Quite the emphasis on line, and it will pay off once again. A bid will fall as Enrico's going to take his triple. Can he find the quad? As there is a defender inside of reception. That is Killsteel trying to take this. Can he see him? Not in time. Enrico with the quad. He does get down, but it doesn't matter. He's done the damage. It's all down to Cheesy Chimkin, low on health, as the Melusi is rotating up to second floor to see if she can use some sort of vertical line of sight left by the attackers against them, because the diffuser has just been recovered. The plant will go off, but of course Enrico, he's hungry for that ace. He wants it. And clearly, Sage Empire, with the emphasis on Lion, has done something to themselves in between the previous and this round to take it as well as they have so far. 3v1. Yala trying to find what he can. He found instead. He will. Very messy kill, mind you, by Cheesy Chimkin, but he does take it as the E1D will spot his location, giving it away. That's going to be the vertical lines of sight that the attackers had used against them right now. But will the plant be denied? It won't be. The plant is going off right towards Cheesy. He's trying to go for the shot, but that's too much used up in one area, and that's why the plant will go off successfully. He wants to go for a run out, and he will actually see the line. He's already spotted, and he will still not go down, but there's the Claymore! That is not how that should have ended. Cheesy, he didn't see it. He did not see the Claymore. Should have been just a little bit more aware of the door, but he needed the kill, and he needed to get into sight. It was really a no-win situation for him there, because his location real time was given away, and that would have been a big disadvantage because Electric would have seen him coming in from a mile away. Oh, that was so close. Could have happened, but it did not, of course, and that's why the second round goes the way of the attackers. Sage Empire going 1-1 up into round 3.
A good attempt from the Melusi is definitely something that she'll be able to take away for herself, but just not enough to crack through that shelf. And a very unfortunate demise of the man just got taken away through a Claymore. Not something we expected to see, but hey, that's why you always put your Claymores down in situations like these. You never know when it might turn out to be useful. That out of the way though, got ourselves a 1-2-1 established early into the match already. That means the retaliation is here. Sage Empire not looking like they want to slow down on the momentum that they've got for themselves. But GS though, or rather PS, if I may, now that they've enrolled themselves as through Syndicate. But yeah, most definitely something that they lacked in the last round is enough man count towards the end of the round there. Just happening to lose so many people, getting dropped one by one. Not the best of positions you find yourselves to play on. And we haven't still got to see a possible situation coming in from Sage Empire, because from what I'm getting to make out of the defense that is coming in from the side of through Syndicate is they do happen to abandon so many places just like that. So many entryways not watched at very good windows of time. It's definitely going to come down to how the attackers time it well, what the pacing of the round happens to come out to be. Let's see what round 3 happens to offer. Abid is still on the side of reception, looking to lurk around the sunroom, help Wamai if he needs to, as easy. He's going to find a drone, and that's all he will for the white. Hookah push from top floor is happening as well. Killsteel knows there's somebody outside Lambo door. Not sure who that is. I believe that is the Ash, or is that not? I'm not sure though. We've still got the Ash up and above. In fact, she's with Electric, and and that is Washed Up Boomer. Iana and Zofia will be accompanying him above. We've got Gridlock Track is coming out. Washed Up Boomer, I'm not sure why he's roaming in the hallway where he's got his own teammates with his holographic thingy on. There's still got a minute and 40 left, and already gunfights are coming in. Yala taking so much damage. Will he be the one to win this fight? Yes, he will. Killsteel is going to get taken down. The alibi, not the best of fashions to go down in.
Oh, most certainly not. Killsteel, unfortunately, trying to, be a little cheeky, trying to play fire with fire, play vertical against an Ash playing vertical. But Yala proved to be too much for him in that instance. Easy in the meanwhile, giving away his head to the gridlock, and he will see it get taken off. Montrosky takes the second kill. Right now, it's a 5v3 Sage Empire. Once again, this take on first floor kitchen from them seems to be very good, and you have the E1D stopping the defenders in their tracks. That puts them at a disadvantage because the flank doesn't come off as early as they wanted to, but the line will still go down. Very well done by TC Champion, managing to come up undetected, even though the Claymore shot did give away his position. Abbott, in the meanwhile, spotted by the Gemini. He's fallen back on the other side of the wall in main lobby, giving himself some hard cover. Shazam finds himself back inside a site, which is being smoked off. The plant is coming in. Montrosky with cover from Electric from above. That's Shazam off the board, and suddenly it's going to be a 2v3 post plant with Cheesy Chimkin taking down Yala. Much needed right there as a bid. We'll find Montrosky as well. This could be a potential 2v4 clutch right here. Cheesy Champion comes around. Lots of sound, but wait. Sophia doesn't turn around in time. What? Didn't hear that for whatever reason. And now it's a 1v2. All down to the last man standing. Watch the Boomer. He's found one, but the counter units could be going off. No, it's surrounded by the Bandit, and a bid will get it. And that will be the secured for the side of Throw Syndicate, as they will be the ones to win round 3. What a round indeed. We'll see that in the instant replay as the third round makes it a 2-1 scoreline for the side of Throw Syndicate. What a round indeed. A 2v4 going into post plant. The retake was amazing indeed. The Malusian Bandit coordinating with each other, giving calls, giving intel, and taking what they needed, leaving no prisoners. We're going to head back to second floor hookah lounge and billiards room in round 4, with the advantage going the way of the defense. But again, it's just the early game.
That's right. It's just the early game. Anything could happen at this point. Cannot make any predictions right now that we could bank upon, but it's definitely a good start for the side of the defense. 2-1 advantage for themselves. Just having to perform when it comes on the side of the defense. Coming to a map like Coastline with that beautiful teamwork coming in from them. And I really like the fact that this time around when the Malusi happened to jump out of that window, the first thing we heard was not her drop onto the floor, but the impact hitting the ground, just checking for a possible claymore. As definitely a very a very funny thing that he happened to do. But yep, going ahead on to round 4, we've got quite the stuff coming in from the side of the attackers as well, but it's just not enough. You've got the heartbeat emphasis from Edrico. The line has been doing the killing. I would say he's been doing the killing as well, but what they're trying to do, that isolation of the defense, is just not working out. Not able to use the Zofia concussives to the best of advantage. We're getting to see Yala and Was the Boomer always spearheading the attack, and not anybody else, but it just somehow does come down to them because of those early picks they happen to give away. Sage Empire looking to fix those things and having to move ahead. We've got Montrosky this time around. Maybe the emphasis on that gridlock will be a little more better with his with our track stingers. Just essentially blocking out the defense on a very bad position. There you go. Another defender being found in a bad spot. Edrico trying to capitalize on it right now. That's exactly what he's looking for. He's not going to quite find him. Just moving back and forth about this, we've got Electric joining up in the fight as well. A quick drone work is what is needed right now, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Electric, there you go, the drone work. The drones they're giving enough information at this point. Not the best of decisions to be making with the barricade staying open, but we've got to see the pushback already from the defense. And look at that easy kill steal. Walks away with the kill onto Yala. This has been the case. Yala coming out to be that aggressive fragger for his team, not able to stay true to that role. Just not enough, I'd say not enough drone work, or I'm not sure. It does not look well directed. That's exactly what I'm trying to get here. The fraggers not having enough information is what it's looking like. Maybe there's something going on in the team bounce we do not know about. Meanwhile, the breach will happen. That's going to open a nice angle for the side of the attackers to take a long peek all the way onto site. Montrosky using one of those angles, and actually he's holding up 90. He's going to get a nice frag from the white stairs flank that was coming up from the side. Easy. 4 versus 4. Man count re-established with the last minute left. Let's see what we happen to unfold in this match.
The last 60 seconds for Sage Empire. They may have equalized the man count, but that's not going to help them in this situation if they don't find more or manage to take control of one of the sites. Both usually involve finding defenders and taking them out, but right now they need those kills. If they're unable to do that, they won't be able to get into the site and get the plant off, which is very much required. Montrosky on the drone, pinging away at defenders in crucial positions for Electric and everybody else to take advantage of. E1 comes off Shazam. He's been spotted, and he's going to be shot through too. No, not quite. He's actually going to take one. Will he take two? Yes, he will. Holding the hole on his own. 90 goes to him. Watch the Boomer tries to find somebody else in the meanwhile. Not going to do that, however, as it is now down to the 2v4. E1D goes up, but that's not going to help anybody's case. Rodrigo pushes in only to be taken down by Killsteel, who finds his double, and now it's all down to the Iana caught inside of VIP. Hobbit comes in, MP7 in hand to finish it all off. We'll see that in the instant replay as the fourth round as well goes the way of Throw Syndicate. They're looking pretty strong on the defense tonight, all things considered, and Sage Empire's attack, yet again, like we've seen time and time again, is very much lackluster. They're trying to emphasize on operators like Lion, like Gridlock, like Iana, but the problem is they're doing it and not capitalizing on it. They're not pushing when they need to. They're not making use of the intel, of the information, wasting time, wasting motion, ultimately being their own worst enemies, if I may. And that's what has given away a 2-round lead right now to the side of TS, who, with the Goyo 6 pick, are heading to
Attackers
first floor,
need to
Blue and
locate
Sunrise
defuse
Bar.
bombs.
That's where they're headed right now, and more importantly, it's excuse me, it's
Attackers
such
have
a
discovered the
huge
location of a bomb.
confusion for me. I happened to take a look at the name tags, and I see Gamer Syndicate, and out of habit as well, it's Gamer Syndicate. They've been long residents of this competitive scene, and just as I happen to take a look at the new name, Throw Syndicate, not the best of names, and not very evident as well. They've come out with very good plays and very controlled plays as well. That's exactly what we've got to. I think that's exactly the keyword about the defense right now. We do see them come out with
5
very
seconds to go.
good controlled aggression. We did see what Shazam happened to bring up on that
Attackers are
hallway,
moving to defuse
and then
the
a
bomb.
bit with that finishing kill, and not just that, a bit with the bandit plays before this round as well. It was not. It's not that those were not aggressive players. Those were definitely very high risk plays. But that was all done in a very controlled environment, and I think that was brought into effect from the side of Throw Syndicate. Really well executed. We don't see them taking any fights in the beginning. It's coming down to that cat and mouse game that you happen to indulge the attackers on, perfectly baiting them into wasting their time. And when it comes down to the crossfires, Throw Syndicate just taking that small window of while the attackers are trying to get their composure back and rethink their push, just able to push through that little window of operation. It's been good to see that. It's been good to see defensive rounds like that happen on Coastline, because honestly, when we do happen to see defensive rounds going in the favor of a particular team, when it comes to a map like Coastline, it's either a very frag heavy approach and just an aggressive spawn peeking approach that we get to see from them, 2 versus X situation that you always put yourselves in. But that's not been the case for Gamer Syndicate, or Throw Syndicate rather, because what they've been putting up is definitely a very calculated strategy. Look at this. I don't think the drop, no, that was outside. So we've still got a whole lot more to worry about. The barricade being opened up. There you go. The drop is going to get noticed. They've got the Goyo shield taken care of, as the strategy is definitely coming back to what I was talking about, as they've been looking good for the side of the defense, and a safe passage for Cheesy Chimkin right now. He's just going to have to sit down and relax. He's got his teammates to just take advantage of and take help from as well, as we're getting to see some commotion happen on the top floor. That is definitely putting the side of the defense in a very difficult position. Gridlock's fingers are coming out as well. It's still 1 minute. That is going to decide the fate of both these teams.
Most certainly, as we've got verticality being established, but it's again not going to do a whole lot given the way that Throw Syndicate has sort of positioned themselves away from the common breach points. The common areas you usually see get broken open first. Here we go. The first E1D comes out from Enrico. He spotted somebody. That's probably somebody safe, and he looked at the Wamai, but couldn't quite figure out that Cheesy Chimkins was there in time to punish him for that push. A very important first kill comes out as Yala. He knows that he's there. Shots are going to be fired, and Montrosky will be the one to take the kill. The Wamai will get refragged onto quickly by the gridlock. Nicely done from the side of Sage Empire, and oh, catching the smoke while he was busy throwing one of his toxic baits right there. Trying to go and entrench himself, but no, there's a bid to shut him down from going for the plan. He's inside a blue bar on the bar itself. What is this man doing? Dismantling the attack. That's what he's doing. Yala's gonna find him instead, as he has to go for the plan, but there's the UMP going off to find Wash the Boomer. Easy's gonna be down in the meanwhile, but it doesn't matter. Shazam is here in the courtyard. He pushed up earlier to find one, turned around to the call of the plant, knew where it was going to happen, and shut down the Ash before the plant could actually go down. We'll see that in the instant replay as Throw Syndicate are taking round after round after round, and that is actually exactly what has happened. They've taken 3 rounds so far. First for Kitchen, second for Hookah, and Blue and Sunrise Bar just now. They're doing very well against this admittedly pretty well coordinated Lion push that the side of the attack Sage Empire has been trying to do, but you know, unfortunately, it's not Operation Chimera. Lion isn't quite as potent as he used to once be, and that's certainly being seen right here. Sage, some tells me they might have to think up a new attack strategy, because Lion, while he's done his job in the early couple of rounds, has not been working out. And I have to say this right here, ladies and gentlemen, Lion needs to be changed out. They need to apply something else, and that's going to have to be something they look into for future matches, because tonight it has just not been the CBR and Operators night.
That is definitely the case. But coming back once again, Throw Syndicate and Shazam adding up to that very destructive duo that is, of course, Throw Syndicate having to come off with a very good play. That was the Castle's round to just gain control of, and he made sure he did that. We got to see him getting that control back from the counter reception area, getting the frag in, and then the diffuser denial as well. That was beautifully well done. The target prioritization from him, and just that information coming in from his teammates, that quick reaction into making sure how that round happens to go down. It was essentially in the hands of Shazam to whether how that round is going to go down. Was that going to be a Sage Empire plant round, or was it going to be a Throw Syndicate win? It was theirs to take away. Round 6, we are already on the last round of the first half, and it's been a Throw Syndicate show, and it's been amazing to watch that, because when it does come to a map like Coastline, it is usually the attackers that happen to get a better front foot forward. Once again, very peculiar rotations I'm getting to see. That is of course made for some quick rotations back and forth in and around the map. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be a huge fan of holding on offices, not with such a huge utility emphasis, at least, because when the side does happen to be the side of Kitchen, you still got the push happening from the side of the attackers. We don't see them make headway onto the map so quickly yet. And as I happen to speak about it, we are hearing the breach charges go off, and that's top floor control taken, and already we are seeing the floorboards being breached onto site, and that means the vertical gameplay is being established. It's definitely something that the defense will have a pushback from, but it's nothing that Throw Syndicate was not expecting. So it's just a game of playing the Tom and cat and mouse, or the Tom and Jerry right now. It's definitely going to come down to that. As hey, I happen to say cat and mouse because or I automatically happen to switch to Tom and Jerry. It's one of those, you know. But hey, as I speak about it, the action does start eventually, though. Electric gets a frag, and so does Enrico before going down. Or is that Montrosky? Yeah, that is Montrosky. In fact, he's going to get revived back up on his feet, but that is 2 quick kills for Sage Empire to definitely take up and take advantage of. 40 seconds left of 5 versus 3 for the side of Throw Syndicate to fight against C1D Pop. It's going to come down to these last 30 seconds.
Last 35 seconds, Montrosky's trying to go into side, towards side door, in fact. He's gonna have to be careful of the push in. He won't be like stopped just yet, but he sees one, and that is actually somebody for reals there. Montrosky throws out something, and that's one of his track stingers a bit. Doesn't know that the line's still by the door. He's gonna get taken up by Rico. Montrosky goes up the line. It's a 5v2. TC Chimkin spotted. He's going through quite a few things in that smoke right there, and he will be seen, but will he be able to get it down? He does. He gets another one. That's a double kill, and a much needed one. Enrico's been down in the meanwhile, making it almost equalized right there. In fact, it is 2v2. Yala and Electric, the last two standing. Can he get the kill? No, he can, but Yala's gonna come around. Will he find the counter diffuser? Yes, he does. It's now a 1v2. All down to Shazam. This exit is being watched. I believe it was. He's been spotted. He has to fall back and barely does in time, but that's not where the shots are coming from. He's looking in all the wrong directions. He doesn't even have time, and the more time he wastes in main lobby, the longer it's going to take, and the less likely he is to win. Electric will shut him down. Finally, just on the cusp of the diffuser going past the point of no return, and unfortunately, for Throw Syndicate, there will be no 2v4 clutch in this round. And that is going to be Sage Empire putting a second one on board for themselves, a much needed second round as they go into halftime. 2-4 down. Not exactly the best situation in the world, but they can still make this work. They're on the defense now, and going into hookah, things might just look up. But again, they really need to work on their gunfights, their positioning, and just overall their coordination.
Heading into the second half of this match, we'll be taking a quick look at the scoreboard. There we go. We've got Cheesy Chimkins with 10 frags already on the side of Throw Syndicate, followed up with a bid on 8 for himself. And then the 6 frag game from Shazam. It's definitely been frags galore for the side of Throw Syndicate. I wouldn't expect less. 4-2, a good advantage for them at least. You know, you happen to start off on the first half of the match. It does not matter which side you are on. They're still able to walk away with the 4-2, 2 rounds in succession. Really good advantage. Round 7 will be underway. We haven't got a huge, I would say, saturation from the side of Sage Empire in terms of the kill counts. But yeah, it does come down to a very distributed kill count. That's because that's been Sage Empire's motto. They've been a little more codependent, and I think in the long run, that's exactly what happens to matter. But hey, that put aside, round 7 will be underway. We've got the action phase underway as well. The GSG9 brothers once again being put into effect. We've seen them come out a lot, at least on this map. They do happen to have amazing guns. So honestly, Carbine still is and will, I think, might always be my favorite gun that this game has to offer. We've still got ourselves at the 2-minute mark being hit, but I'm not a huge fan of the defensive strategies we are coming up from the side of Sage Empire right now. Electric is alone. There you go. He's going to get taken down. This is exactly what I was trying to talk about. Not a huge fan because it does not look very promising. That was not supposed to be a kill for the attacker to walk away with, but Throw Syndicate is going to be more than happy to get that early advantage on the second half of themselves. 3 fouls are coming in from the hookah in the rappel, but that was just to take some attention off of the smoke. They'll be watching this long angle. He's doing some damage. He's doing a lot of damage. Might be the head that he connects to next, but that is Shazam. He realizes there's going to be a long angle into play. That's why he just has to fall back onto cover. I still got the roam play all the way till the side of reception hallway as well. So it's definitely going to take so much more than what we expected or what we expected to see out of from the side of Throw Syndicate into shaking off and dislodging the defenders. But there you go. Position's been given away now. The Ash doing so much damage to Yala. He's trying to find this frag, but he's just not able to cut it through easy. He's going to make sure he does not take this. There we go. He's going to get the down on the Yala. He didn't want to take that advantage away. He's just going to confirm that with the drone war coming in before he happens to go for the conversion. A bit meanwhile does find Montrosky though. That's more than enough damage already done. Easy rubs it in to the face of Yala with that disrespect on the ass shot that he happened to bring out. 1 minute left, 2 defenders, and that is it. That is all there is separating this round to go anywhere else. Round 7 has definitely come out with the roller coaster. He has emptied a whole mag, and that's the moment for the banner to push up in. That was very funny, but hey, that is it. That was all. There you go. So Syndicate will make sure they get that round in. That was more than just destruction. They were all over the place. They were all over the defense. They definitely came in with with so much more calculation and so many more plan Bs, if I may, because just from the way it looked like, they had no problems whatsoever. Bodies dropped, map control taken, sight in their hands, and the final frag was secured as well. Did not even have to go for the plant. It's really good emphasis from the side of Throw Syndicate as to how they like approaching their attacking rounds. And look at that, the scoreboard very evident of it. It's in itself, and it's definitely going to be some rivalry in uh, in their own team from the side of Throw Syndicate. Look at that, a Beard and Cheesy Chimkins racing for who gets the highest frags right now. Both of them on 10 frags equally. So
Attackers need to
obviously,
locate and defuse
it's
bomb.
definitely going to be an interesting outtake for that MVP spot for this division, as everybody always wants it. Obviously, who wouldn't want a WD Black SSD? But that put aside, we'll be headed to round 8, and the prep phase is underway as well. Let's see what this match happens to offer us.
Certainly, one thing I'm noticing about Sage is, again, their coordination might take an upswing every now and again, but what they really lack in is their overall gunfight potential. Because outside of, say, someone like Yala and
10 seconds
Enrico,
left before
we're not
insertion.
really seeing anybody else go for good, well-chosen gunfights
seconds
or
remaining.
really try to pull the attackers in by luring them, baiting them
Attackers
almost
must
into a
locate and
position where
defuse the
they
bomb.
can take advantage. They're not really doing that. They're sort of waiting for the attackers to come to them, which is certainly one of the ways to make defense work. But if you cannot take advantage of that, if you cannot peek or decide to peek at the right time, then you need to change positions, try something different. They haven't been doing that. They've mostly been doing the same things, recycled and packaged differently, and it just doesn't work. It really just doesn't. And Throw Syndicate are giving them that lesson, but that's a big drop couple, in fact, as Yala and Washed Up Boomer will start things off very well. Killsteal and a bid will fall. Zofia and Jackal gone. Suddenly, Throw Syndicate are in the back seat. Sage Empire, for this round at the very least, will be starting off strong, but they still have Cheesy Chimkin and Shazam to go through. Both of them have been very influential individually in specific rounds of this match so far. So, having them still alive is certainly going to be a big thorn in the side of TS, in the side of Sage Empire, excuse
Attackers have
me,
located a
who
bomb.
more than anything, just need to tighten up. They need to stay tightened up. They need to make sure that they have no loose ends. But easy, hello. How has he just been allowed to go in? Washer Boomer gets his double in the meanwhile as the gas grenade goes down. Will finally be spotted and his push be halted. There we go. The Zebra comes in. Man is cornered and man is gone. Easy will fall. It's a 1v5, all down to Shazam. Plenty of time, and all of his track stingers still in his pocket. But what he lacks currently is operators to rely on.
That's right. There's not a whole lot that he can do right now. Throw Syndicate finding themselves in a very difficult position. They were looking very confident, like they almost are about to get match point for themselves. But Sage Empire does have other plans. We're getting to see a huge deployment of the entirety of the gadgets for the gridlock. But I don't see her walking away with a possible victory over the Shazam. He'll get a frag on to watch the Boomer. That's going to be the first one. Is this a comeback? Is this a clutch from the gridlock? Is that what it is? Nope. Everybody's definitely a little scared after that first kill, honestly, because we did see everyone very happy, just very enthusiastic into finding the final frag. So many runouts and whatnot happening. The moment we saw Watch the Boomer get dropped, everyone just back to their stations, just holding their angles. Yes, classic siege stuff. We just got to see a very standard siege match that we happen to witness. Is definitely a time for the
15
South
seconds
Syndicate.
left.
They're just going to be
Bomb
chilling and
located by
using this time
attackers.
to get themselves some more strategies sorted out and whatnot, discuss over what went wrong. And yeah, that was the final frag for Rodrigo to take away. Round 8 was Sage Empires for the taking, and this might just be the comeback that Sage Empire is trying to mount onto. Will this be a comeback? Because right now we see both of these teams just happening to cover that 2 round gap for themselves. That's exactly what they need to beat right now, because 2 rounds away for the side of Sage Empire, we are looking at an equalized scoreline, but 2 rounds away for the side of Throw Syndicate, it will be them walking away with the match victory. Let's see what happens. Round 9 will be underway as we happen to Yeah, as we happen to take a deeper dive onto this map.
Kitchen being the site of choice coming out from Sage Empire, nothing, nothing too surprising. Excuse me, right there. As we've got a Legion being picked in, I
Attackers need
believe.
to
We'll just
locate and
happen to
defuse
glance
as
at the
many
screen.
bombs as
There
they
we go.
can.
Electric bringing in the operator with the goo mines, as it were. And interestingly enough, now honestly, a couple seasons removed from Operation Steel Wave, this is a bit of an observation of sorts. Since there's a bit of downtime between the preparation of Sage Empire and the action phase. An observation that I've sort of
Attackers
made
have located a
is
bomb.
Ace and Malusi. Everybody sort of predicted this when they came out in Operation Steel Wave, the technical test server, is that they would have huge, huge ramifications, at least in terms of their impact for competitive Rainbow Six
10
Siege. And
seconds left
we can
before
see that
insertion.
to this very day. Maybe not so much for Ace on Coastline. He is a hard
5
breacher
seconds
after
left
all.
before insertion.
Coastline, you don't necessarily need to emphasize on hard breachers too much, but
Attackers
then
are
you see
heading out to defuse a
Malusi
bomb.
very, very much ever present as she's almost taken up Wamai's spot, given Wamai's massive nerf as of Operation Neon Dawn. And overall, the utility meta being weakened, she's still one of those very powerful operators with the MP5, a very powerful gun, very comfortable gun, and a bulletproof gadget that requires use of soft reach utility. That's a lot of things that one operator packs, and then C4 because why not? And you've got a deal for a really, really strong operator that can slow attackers down. For say attackers like Easy, who like to get into sight just out of nowhere, just randomly. Oh hi, I'm inside a site. Knock knock. And to stop operators like those, Melusi is a really good operator, all things considered. And the sort of impact that she has had, oh, well, that's going to be an impact on the head of the Ash as Yala is going to find that kill. We felt that one watching from the Ash's perspective, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the first big drop. Pro Syndicate losing an operator early. Not something they needed. Could this be the comeback for Sage Empire? Because they have looked pretty strong on the defense. Coastline today seems to be defender-sided no matter which way you cut it. As Shazam manages to make his entry into Hookah, barely avoiding getting shot at his feet. But of course, there's plenty of vertical reach to work around.
Well, as we speak about it, Enrico walks away with the C4 kill for himself. Cheesy Chimkins will be the one to take the fall, and Killsteal is here to just add up to that damage, or at least try and reply back to the damage that we've seen the defense do on the side of the attackers. Siege Empire looking very full-fledgedly to make this into a real comeback right now. The dream is real, people. 4 versus 3 that they found themselves in, and just from the looks of it, a minute left that the attackers have to cut through. It's definitely going to be a very close round, if not for Syndicate. There you go. Already kills Steel with a possible disconnect. On Trotsky, meanwhile, does walk away with the kill onto a bit, though. And hey, a 4 versus 2 already, not in the favor of the Syndicate. They will get to see the shotgun still being employed from Shazam. I'm not sure if it serves its purpose, but there you go. Killsteal does walk away with the frag. Meanwhile, he's been doing his job. We didn't see him disconnect, though. He just made sure he's got his work done. The smoke, he's anticipating the push from the Jackal. Oh, he's been spotted now. Montrosky has taken so much damage. He might just be the next one to get taken down. He's going to smoke himself up. That's just some cover that he happens to take. But that Meteor is going to get spotted now. Killsteal knows more than that. There you go. He knows exactly where that pre-fire came in from. And now it's just 10 seconds with so many fights at the side of the attackers have to win right now if they want to take away this match for themselves. Killsteal doesn't walk away with onto a kill or to watch the Boomer. This might just be possible. There's not enough time for nothing. It's just out. Way less time. Could have been around for Sage Empire. Could have been around for Syndicate to walk away with, but just not quick enough. Throw Empire. No, Sage Empire is. Excuse me there.
Well then.
Sage Empire is going to make sure they get that victory for themselves. But that is just one half of the story, people. We've seen this to and fro happen quite a bit. 4-5. We're headed to round 10, and it is in fact now the comeback story from the side of Sage Empire. It is a reality now. This might as well be the next round that we get to see into an equalizer, or is it still going to be a match point situation that Syndicate is looking to secure? Blue bar and Sunrise bar, a good situation for the attackers to take advantage of. Let's see what they happen to make out of it.
given that Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar was only seen once before, and that round really did not go the way of Sage Empire, they will be pretty cautious going into this site. They don't have much else of a choice. The only other site to go to outside of Blue Bar at this juncture is, of course, second floor penthouse and theater. And if Coastline's round selection history is anything to go off of, nobody likes second floor penthouse and theater, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, understandably.
10
So the
seconds to
site
go.
has its own set of issues and difficulties, and all of the above.
5 seconds
But
left
Blue Bar
before
and Sunrise
insertion.
Bar, it's certainly risen by itself as a site that many
Attackers are
many
moving out
teams
to
like to
locate
go
a bomb and
for.
defuse it.
Especially in the last league, we got to see openers like match opening sites be Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar. As not something that has happened a lot before per se. Then again, Coastline has been here for so long. There's only so much that can be discovered about this map that is yet to be seen. With all that being said, Throw Syndicate, they know what they need to do, but can they execute it properly? They haven't been able to for a couple of rounds now. They've been losing bodies to some really unfortunate positioning and unfortunate peeking, and intel gathering hasn't exactly been top-notch either. They seem to not know where certain defenders are, or they seem to not have an idea of where to go, but this time they do. Killseal, he's going to find one, and that is Yala taken care of. The EDDs are there, mind you. So he's gonna have to be super careful because that's one Capcan trap and he will be out of the equation. Washed a Boomer. He's gonna be tracked by the Inox scanner of the Jackal. Killsteel knows where the Capcan is to an extent. Cheesy Chimkin going around to security corridor just to give themselves some flank coverage from inside of office, while a bid watches behind the blue bar from inside of kitchen. Long angles being held as Throw Syndicate. Again, they know what they need to do, but their execution so far has been pretty lackluster unless they're able to fix it this round. But Shazam will not. Watch the Boomer takes that. The 9x19 fires off, but it won't fire off a second time. He will be fired onto as Cheesy Chimkin, barely surviving that encounter, gets the headshot under the cap can and refrags for his fallen teammate.
That's exactly what they needed at that moment, the refrag. But hey, I'm afraid that's not present from the side of the defense right now. Siege Empire, they're at the man deficit.
Bomb located
Through
by
Syndicate
attackers.
might as just well be the ones to be able to get the better of them. But that's only something that the rest of the round will reveal to us as we happen to hit the 60-second mark. The push-up is in from our bid. He's able to go for the plant as well. That's Zofia sticking the plant, or is she not? That's going to be a gas grenade coming up from the smoke. He's going to have to go close to the wall and go and stick the plant. It's being stuck right now. We got Cheesy Chimkins coming in to kill off himself. That's Electric being dropped. A 2 versus 4 that we happen to see right now. Montrosky and Enrico, both of them looking to find frags of their own. A bit, meanwhile, will make sure he shuts down Montrosky. It's all on Enrico. 1 versus 4. The Mozzie trying to find 4 kills before he happens to go for the counter defuse. He won't even find the first. A bit takes care of him. The man has got it all. He's got the lifelines for utility. He's got the push-up with the Zofia. He's got the plant, and he's got the kills as well that he happens to bring out. So much that just this one person happens to bring out. And hey, it's just what the Zofia has been doing, and we love to see stuff like that. 6-4, quite the powerful scoreline we happen to see. But Sage Empire still look like they might be able to stick this. They might be able to push this further. And once again, Throw Syndicate still having that little race of their own onto who happens to get the highest frags between Upbid and Cheesy Chimkins. Both of them on 12 frags of their own. Look at that frag potential coming in. Easy, just not having the best of his days. But yeah, most definitely, it's a very weird outlook to this.
Attackers need
We've
to
seen
locate
easy
and
play
defuse as many
operators
bombs
like
as
the
they
Ash,
can.
but he's got only 2 kills, whereas it's honestly, I think it's got nothing to do with the operators. It is the map, it is the timing, it is so much more that there's so many more variables that come out when you happen to go into the match. But that out of the way, coming back to the question in hand, match point for Throw Syndicate. They look like they want to secure this. The will Sage Empire get their share of the revenge or not? That's the real question right now. Let's find that out as we happen to go ahead on to round 11.
Well, with the site
10 seconds
being
to go.
on a second floor hookah lounge and a billiards room, Sage Empire have a good chance of
5
taking
seconds
this.
to
They
go.
managed to take this site back in round 8, and they did it pretty well, all
Attackers
things
are moving
considered.
to
Throw Syndicate
the
in the
bomb.
last round, however, they seem like they're slowly starting to make up for the mistakes that they've been making throughout this game. They need to do a lot more, however, if they are to continue on that trend of taking rounds for themselves, because one round isn't enough. You may be on match point, and sure, that applies a whole ton of pressure to the side of the defending team. But that's also a lot of pressure for the team on match point. Pro Syndicate will know this right now, as if they manage to somehow lose this from this situation, then it will be a much worse story to tell. Electric, he's going to find one in the meanwhile. Easy. The man has been struggling a little bit. He will go down, and oh, that was so messy. Cheesy Chimkin, he nearly got taken out by Electric right there, but he will finally find the Melusi, barely surviving himself, giving his team a much needed refrag. However, we can see a proned operator inside of Sunrise. That seems like the Mozzie, who might find a kill. No, he won't. He's actually going to be taken out. Washer Boomer goes down. That's the Bandit, excuse me, who will find his head taken clean off. You've still got Yala downstairs going for a roam on the hallway outside of kitchen. That's a pretty big angle being held. It's a bit. In the meanwhile, going for some vertical lines aside, Cheesy Chinkin. Chef's name isn't going to find anything. However, as another is being requested, I believe, by the Sophia, but the sledge will just fall back for the time being, as vertical lines of sight are pretty dangerous for Cheesy Chinkin right now. He's actually going to throw another one, but that was ill-advised, as he has been downed and can only do so much. Enrico doing some good work from inside of the blue stairs area, but he hasn't confirmed the kill, which will mean the sledge can get revived up, and he will be, as some pre-fires come out from kill steal. Interesting direction to pre-fire, just making sure the flank is covered for his teammates. As with 60 seconds remaining, throw Syndicate, they may have the man advantage, but the way they're going about this, very roundabout, not direct enough, time might just end up being their biggest enemy here.
That's exactly what you've got to beat. You've got to beat the clock, and looks like Throw Syndicate just might not be able to do that right now. Or is that going to be the other way around? CH Empire looking like they're very confident with their positions right now, and got to give them that as well. Just from the looks of it, very good positions being held down with so much more information that they can work with. We've got two people on the cams, Electric and Washed Up Boomer, both of them giving so much information from the cams right now. Yala, his positions, I think, has been given away. There you go. The drones are coming out from the attackers as well. 20 seconds. This is definitely a very last-minute push coming in from the side of the attacker. Rico is going to get a frag, but he gets taken down by the Claymore. That might just be the play for the smoke to make if he happens to make that push up from the doorway. But no, it'll be a moment for the Cheesy Chimkins to shine. And Yala, he's on the flank. This might just be the denial. No, he moves away at the right time, but he still gets the frag. Anyway, there's no time. But Cheesy Chimkins! He gets it! No man does it! He's been performing amazingly well. I've talked about the race that he's trying to win against his own teammate, and looks like he's finally got it. He'll be the highest fragger of this lobby as well. Takes away the MVP on this match with that beautiful turnaround and beautiful play that he's brought ahead today on this beautiful map of Coastline. What a showdown. 16 frags for the man. Look at the man go off, and quite the stuff, honestly, from him alone. And hey, it was just all of this stuff that we love to see. Just the Cheesy Chimkins turning out to be better than usual. That's what I think it was.
Oh, most certainly. It was an amazing game, all things considered, from both sides, really. And that's been a trend tonight. Both sides with some amazing games. However, only one can win while the other must face a loss. Such is the nature of competitive esports, ladies and gentlemen, as we are done with the matches tonight. Well, not quite per se. We still have a reel of the moment to go over that we will be going over in just a quick minute, just making sure that everything is set and ready. After all, there's a bunch of clips to sort through and all that nonsense that goes on in the back end. Anybody who's edited live on stream will know the issues being faced by hosts in this sort of situation. But we're just gonna get that ready nice and quickly. Before that, oh, there we go. Actually, we just got confirmation that Relive is live, ladies and gentlemen, on your screens right now. And I mean, really, this entire match was a highlight set. Like, nothing that happened in this match wasn't worth taking into account. Everything for both sides was worth taking into account, but both sides were making very similar mistakes in very similar situations. They both have issues with their efficiency, the amount of time it takes for them to convert the intel that they gain, the amount of push that they're able to make into and execute from that setup. It takes too long. And sure, it works out every now and again, but at least the situations like we saw in the last round, where absolutely everything was on the table. Anything could have happened. That sledge could have died. Cheesy Chinkins could have died. Jackal could have gotten the Jaeger early. For whatever reason, his reaction was very, very late. But regardless, it was a very messy finisher. And so were many of the finishers on First Floor Kitchen, just outside of Surface Entrance. You had Cheesy Chimkin going for a run out, getting refragged, but the Bandit came out. It was all down to the fact that there was no time that put all the remaining players in the lobby, currently alive in that situation, into a frenzied state. They needed the kills, they needed to execute, and they needed to do it quickly. And that, unfortunately, put them in a position to make some questionable decisions every now and again. All things considered, it was still a much better game for Throw Syndicate than it was for Sage Empire, who unfortunately were making far too many mistakes far too often to really give this match the kind of weight that they needed it to when put up against, of course, Throw Syndicate and their defense. The first half, 4-2, that was really Throw Syndicate's showing in this match. And the second half, unfortunately, Sage Empire, they took 2 rounds, but 2 rounds, of course, isn't enough. They lost 7-4 because they just couldn't make it when it really counted, and that really will hurt them going forward. It's just the first match. Of course, it's only just the first. They still have 6 more matches to go this season, give or take, of course, but the first match is often the most vital one because it sets up your momentum, it sets up your play, it gives you something to work off of. But for Sage Empire, one could argue that there's too much to work off.
Well, I think what Sage Empire tried to do is they were just trying to play on their own strengths, which is not enough. Throw Syndicate able to just dismantle every time Sage Empire was trying to just come out and outperform them. Throw Syndicate made sure they stopped them right dead in the tracks, and it was more than just what we got to see. It was a very good dismantling of a situation. Look at that Cheesy Chimkins. He came in with the peak, got the kill onto the smoke, went in for the plant, and knew that the flank is coming in from behind him, moved out of it and caught the kill, final kill. This was a beautiful shot and a great finisher for a match that we got to see today. But hey, that is just it. Sage Empire, definitely, I was expecting a whole lot more from them, but I don't blame them. It's just that Throw Syndicate came out to be so much more strong, and Coastline just happens to be a map like that. We get to see so many teams that have that solo player potential, able to perform really well. So yep, that was it, I guess.
That most certainly was, and it was and has been an amazing play day, ladies and gentlemen. But with all that being said, Relive taken care of, we will be ending things here tonight and coming back tomorrow at the same time, roughly around 7:30 p.m. IST, with day 2 of Division 3. That's right, Div 3 action doesn't stop here. You'll be seeing all these teams once again tomorrow before we segue into Div 1 on day after. It's very close indeed, and I know that a lot of our viewers want to see that Division 1 as soon as possible, but we still got Division 3 to go through, as these teams deserve their own respect and their own play days. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it from myself, Blackjack, and my co-host Foxy and Araman Eisen, and we'll be saying good night here and coming back tomorrow for day 2 of Division 3. Stay tuned and good night.